And hello YouTube. Hello. Wi-Fi. Jeep, hello Jeep. How you doing? You're happy the Korean mirrors are over? Yes. TTL started yesterday. No, actually, it started 2 days ago. It started on Friday officially. And hello LCHR over on YouTube. How you doing? And Eberk, hello everyone. I have so many viewers for TTL now that the other stuff is done. Let's see. Let me add a TTL command to my bot. Commands. Add TTL Twitch. And from YouTube message. Okay. Let me go to actions and queues. Twitch chat, send message, TTL, season 5. It's hosted by T90. And let me link his channel, twitch.tv/T90 official. Alright, and then I'll do that for YouTube. Okay, chat, I need you all to... write exclamation mark TTL in chat, okay? Exclamation mark TTL. Okay, will the bot... Can you do this, streamer bot? Can you write the command? Oh, I am silly. I've closed my bot. Hold on. I just debated you all. I'm improving my chat metrics. Hold on. I start my bot again. I closed the bot instead of minimizing it. Miss Micro. Okay, give me 10 seconds, then you can do it again. Ah, I misclicked. Okay, now wait for it to connect. Connect to Twitch. Okay, now do it. Exclamation mark TTL. We got this. Yes, okay, it worked. We got a bot command. Good, I should put that in my stream title too. Done. Alright. We're good. Does it work on YouTube? I don't know if the bot works on YouTube. It should. Oh, it does work on YouTube. Perfect. Just needed to type it in. I spelled it wrong too. LCHR, you did it for me. All right. Never forgive me for debating you to type in my chat. Hey, I'm not debating you about that chicken cosplay, though. We legit will put the chicken suit on if we get to 20 more subs. Anyway, so, TTL time. Let's see. This set is... Who do we got here? We got Deeker versus Bad Koala. And this is nerve-wracking for me because... I've scripted the maps for this one, and we need to make sure stuff doesn't break. Alright, so let me just add names to the title. Deeker and Bad Koala. Alright, and this is TTL Silver. It is play all 3. Is this no, there are no bugs, D-freaking-O, for Silver, alright? We tested these maps thoroughly, and we are not gonna have bugs. I have confidence this time. I have all the confidence in the world that we're not gonna have bugs. Yeah, these are some of the maps. If you saw me doing some map scripting streams, you would have seen me working on these maps. So this is High Tides. Welcome everyone to High Tides. There are no bugs in AoE 2, just the ones that the developers leave in. So, High Tides. You may have seen this in a lot of T90 tournaments in the past. We used it for NAC also, the Noble Apartment Cup from GL. We have a relic on the island to the north. One thing I did here, very last minute, but I balanced the fish around the starting island. So maybe I need a visible fish mod, but the deep fish out here should be more balanced. No bugs, only features. Other than I also balanced the wood half and half on the map. So half the wood should be on one side, half on the other. Roughly, I didn't want to have that Thames situation where the wood was imbalanced. It wasn't too bad before, and I think it still can be someone has forward wood lines versus back wood lines. The middle can sometimes get crowded, but I think it's better than it was before. Can I balance your life? I have to balance mine first. I watched your scripting streams while you were deciding on how many deer to add to Valley. Very interesting. Yeah, I'll need to do some map scripting videos for YouTube. I'll do a Fireship-styled map scripting in 100 seconds. So, deer, zebras being pushed in from Deeker. Again, this is a play all three. The beginning stages are play all three, and you get points for winning the games. So, oh deer, oh zebra. So we'll have, what are we gonna have? Oh my gosh, it feels so refreshing. What's my favorite map in TTL this season? Coast Arena. And I need to make a YouTube video about Coast Arena and the hacks that I did for that, because that was crazy. But yeah, oh my gosh, chat, isn't this so refreshing? Isn't this so refreshing that we have, like, this peaceful Dark Age 3-ville start to watch players push zebras? I've missed this. What is a Dark Age? I don't know. Like, I feel like the fastest Empire Wars game I casted was 433, I think. Like the game would be over by now. This is one of my maps. This was, I think, one of Algernon's maps initially. I wrote all the names. I need to get the names in Capture Age somehow. I'll think about changing my Capture Age overlay a bit in the future. But it was edited by Trezzini, and then I edited it more. So I have made edits to this. None of the maps in this season of TTL originally were my ideas. They all came from a variety of other scripters. But I did do the final edits and rewrote some of them, both to improve them, remove some bugs, make them a bit more consistent. Kills more the old way. Nice. Where are all the buildings? Not here. And Kumar for friends, how you doing? And Elo? Oh yeah, no Elo. Oh my gosh, the overlay has spots for Elo in it. So let me look up their Elos. Let's look up some Elos of these players. Deeker, what's his Elo right now? He's 2490. You're right about that. 2490. I need to fill the slots in the overlay, otherwise the overlay has holes. And 2434. There. Fill the thank you. Is this even AoE 2? I don't know. No Koreans, yes. Good to get back to classic AoE. Hello, Interlet and Uncle Vinny. Hello. Chat is a little small. What do you mean chat's small? Over here? Oh, the player score. Yes. Thank you. It actually is settings, graphics, sound, settings, casting. There we are. 300. Thank you. There we are. You have to move chat up again. Yes. Seven minutes in, where's Imp? So we'll have... I mean, I could adjust the font size in the chat if you think that helps. I think the vertical size and width is just about perfect. I could make it so it fits maybe 4 messages instead of 5. Chat looks fine? Okay. Am I casting TTL, but T90's not? T90 just casted Red Bull. He probably woke up early. Like the fact that chat is wider than Nilly after making an admin decision.
Okay.
He's too busy with TTL to do TTL.
Okay.
So, Eagle here from Deeker. Oh man, dude, this is so relaxing. Militia for Bad Koala. This is so relaxing. Chat, I guess you can sit back, watch a Dark Age, and I feel like I get a complete game. I don't feel like I cast and then I tab out. I'll have to, next stream, I'll leave it for this stream, but next stream I'll set the ads back so I can play them between the games. They won't be auto-scheduled. I won't get as much money for that, but you guys will hopefully get fewer ads in games. So sorry if there's an ad right now. From Red Bull to Bedroll. This is so relaxing. Oh, the Eagle will scout the town center and we'll see a few idle villagers standing there for Bad Koala as he researches the Man-at-Arms upgrade and comes forward. Wait, what the heck? Okay, well, it's a good thing these goats still have food on them because Deeker tried to shoot the scout that was stealing some goats and killed all the goats. Oh my gosh. And not spamming 25 scarves, no. Alright, well. They still have food on them at least. I don't care about the goat interaction, that's fine. I just wish the TC still removed food from the boar. I think it was much more fun to have more difficulty to the boiler. And Koala, so what you would want to do there is hold this open with the scout and prevent the small walls from coming up, but that's not going to work against the Men-at-Arms. They were a bit too slow to get over there. Or not going to work with his Men-at-Arms. Deeker able to wall anyway, wasn't microing the scout. So Men-at-Arms going for the wall here. These are Woo Men-at-Arms. Also, fire galleys on the water. This is a water map. We will have that villager repairing from forever away. But Bad Koala will lose that fire. Bring back poor spoilage. I know. And looks like Deeker's getting a nice advantage on the water. The Inca saving wood on their houses does let them get to the water rather quickly. We do have here a forward dock from Deeker on a shorefish. And that will allow him to get a better fish position than Bad Koala, who maybe got a faster dock, but is a bit farther away from some of the deep fish. Is the last chance qualifier going to be mostly Rex? I have no idea. I think it's just one weekend, right? I think it's going to be one weekend with a whole bunch of live games for the first couple of rounds. And then I don't think they're doing Rex. I think it'll just be live and everyone casts. Yeah. And, yeah, siege towers are nerfed. I did nerf the siege towers in the maps. And I did it in a hacky way that hopefully means the nerfs only apply in the current patch and not for the next DLC patch that would come out and potentially change them again. So we should, all things go well, they will be nerfed in the patch and then we'll go forward with those nerfs. But for this one right here, as the Men-at-Arms close in, they'll, ooh, the scout goes down and they don't get a Vil, but the tower comes up from Bad Koala and that will force Deeker off of the gold. But it does feel like Deeker is winning the water, so a bit of a trade-off there. Oh, thank you very much for the follow. I don't have my list of follows. Didn't see your name. Thank you very much. Where is my activity feed? There we go. Prepsiures Van for the follow. And Dill Bob earlier, thank you for the follow. OBS, why are you not docking this? There we go. Alright, so we do have Deeker retreating from his woodline. As I was saying, we did nerf the siege towers. They have -5 garrison capacity. So instead of getting all the way up to 1.3 speed, which is just about as fast as a knight without husbandry, they get to 1.05 speed, which is just about the speed of a longsword with squires. So they're much slower, they can't have as many units inside of them popping in and out, and we also lowered their HP a bit. So hopefully the siege towers can be used for hopping walls, but not for the purposes of armored personnel carriers. Your name is Romanian, don't bother. I always gotta give it an attempt. I always have to give it an attempt. Unless we have like a huge list of followers while I'm casting something important all at once, where I'm gonna read the names. Me, Arbase, T90, Petito and JBR, everyone on the admin teams, and then me as the map scripter who implemented it. We all decided on that, yes. So Vale's retreat from the berries there. Oh, the Stinson up? No, that's just me and Ornlu, basically. Me, Ornlu, Pete was on Stinson. Who else was there? Buddy was there. That's an old name. Thank you, Onyx TV, for the follow. Yeah. Well, I didn't technically make them slower. I lowered their garrison capacity, which decreases their max speed. I can't change the infantry per, or the speed per infantry. I could only lower the total number of infantry. So, Ville's on the gold mine being forced off there from Deeker, but Deeker does not have fletching, and without fletching, that Ville will get away. He actually doesn't kill any villagers there. And so far, this army here from Bad Koala has just, at the same time that was happening, gotten in on Deeker's woodline, forced a tower, and Bad Koala has done some damage there. He's now gotten 11 villager kills of his own, and those forward vills are chopping away at the woodline. And on the water, it looks like he's trying to come back. May have gotten a couple of fishing ships too, and he's gotten a nice villager lead. So men-at-arms and archers running around. And fletching then on the way from Deeker. 5 a.m. So you're off to bed. Night there, Elsie River. Where's your late Castle GG at 15 minutes? Might not be as much of a men-at-arms fest in the higher leagues. Well, Silver's pretty darn high, right? I mean, these players are all 2k4. Archers going down. And villas go down to the archers as the men-at-arms come forward. And a market going up here for Deeker. Fire goes down. Is all the extra gold down? Yep, there's extra gold on the island in the north, and then more extra gold down here in the south. I think there can be 4 or 5 tiles of extra gold here, and then up to 6 tiles of stone. Feels like first game I see, and I'm annoyed that only 4 gold spawned instead of 5. But for extra golds like that, I'm okay with it. It's kind of annoying that the blue player doesn't have gold over there. Is the very first game I see gonna have a bug that I need to go and then fix? Probably. I had lots of people look at these maps and I'm already annoyed at them. Already annoyed at the map spawn. I'll make a list of bugs for myself. So, high tides, southern gold, shorefish around island. Alright, so archers and men-at-arms coming in under the tower. And we'll see if we get another tower up there from Koala. And oh, okay, counterattack from Deeker. This time the archers do have fletching. Bad Koala was like, oh, I'll open the walls and send vills forward. No, you won't. No, you will not. Deeker there to get some Vil picks, so 18-9 Vil KD at the same time. Oh boy, Archer's now coming in on Deeker's gold. The Men-at-Arms come forward, and those will be some dead Vils, and now the Archers and Men-at-Arms can camp under the tower if they want. They can also just flee and try to kill more Vils. Tower's shooting at the Archers, but the Men-at-Arms are going for another Vil. Alright, so that's now 22 Vil kills. But we do have Deeker has the first one up to the Castle Age. First one will be up there. And more Vils coming around, more Archers coming around at the north. Standing. Standing is for Red Bull. That won't affect TTL. So we have Bodkinero on the way here from Deeker. What do I think of the Empire Wars versus RM settings? I have never been a fan of Empire Wars. I think RM is much more interesting. I think Empire Wars is very good at the exact settings that people tend to find boring, which is skirmisher wars or just single pond fire galley wars that then snowball. And I guess it'll be Hulk mirrors once we get to the next DLC. And I think there's much less variety you can go for. And Tarteas Ucrius? There's a lot of vowels there. Thank you for the follow. I think that King of the Desert, with the 3 start, and seeing all of the strategic variety from drushes to scouts to phosphoros to skirms and all the different things that you saw, I think it was a much more interesting setting than Empire Wars immediately into Skirm Wars or Fire Lancers or Siege Towers. Empire Wars is pure execution. Empire Wars mirrors. I don't know if I honestly mind the mirrors all that much, so much as I mind repetitive mirrors. Right? I wouldn't mind if we had a bunch of random Civ mirrors. I mean, if we saw Celt mirrors occasionally, that would be cool. Or like Teuton mirrors, that would be cool. But it's mirrors of the same Civs over and over, where you very quickly develop a meta for the Civs. Some Civs have more interesting mirrors than others. Like the Huns mirrors we saw back in the day were interesting because everyone did different strategies. You had the forwards, the scouts, the archers, the drushes, FC cav archers, all sorts of things. Versus the Fire Lancer mirrors we saw with Koreans, where it's pretty similar every time. So it's... I wouldn't mind the mirrors as much as if we had more variety in the mirrors. Did Vinch or Hart get 4th place? That is undecided yet. They will, at a future date, play a show match to determine that. Can we not have a unit that costs 3 types of res instead of just 1? All units actually cost 3 res because population is a resource, and we can only assign 3 different resource costs. We cannot assign a 4th cost. So actually the answer is no, but the answer shouldn't be no for the developers who could code the game to accept more costs. But at least for now, in terms of modding, the answer is no. You thought the maps were very similar, especially after Dorothea Quarry was removed and Loch Ness never played. I think the similarity of the maps also contributed to that too, but I also think it's very difficult to make Empire Wars maps that feel different. Because they all... If you're not having a different Dark Age, you're taking away the period that differentiates the maps. Remove the pop space cost? You're talking about... That was one of the 10x village or 10x Civ bonus team game, 10x shared Civ bonus strategies I had seen. You went, oh my gosh, and we're seeing the Siege Tower already. First game when we see a Siege Tower with Gen Swordsman. But 1.05. You know what? That's not faster than a Gen Swordsman outside of the Siege Tower. So 175 pop, but we have a Mangonel completely misses. Crossbows go down. And there we go. You see how much slower that was? But I think the Gen Swordsmen themselves are actually faster than the siege tower. So did that actually help them? I don't know. Oh, Gabby! Hello, Gabby. Yeah, you're playing TTL on... Was that tomorrow, right? I want to cast your games. Yeah, Cramp, it's half pop. Save HP on approach. But here's the thing. Do the siege towers really help there? Or would the Jin swordsmen have done better by themselves? I guess maybe they avoid the slingers. Yeah, it didn't feel much different than a ram, though, only slightly faster. Oh, I do hope more people pick the closed maps. I'm sure Gabby's gonna make us all happy and play Coast Arena and Bypass and Zimbabwe, right? Right? Anyway, this tower is still here for Bad Koala. I'm ready to see Gabby dominate the Silver League. I'm hoping the siege towers are fairly well nerfed after the change I made to them, though. So Slingers here. And Slingers should be a good counter to the Jin swordsmen. They do anti-infantry damage. But here, we see the Mangonel doing damage to the tower. Well, the first game we watch, immediately, it's siege tower shenanigans. But it's with a... At least it's an infantry unit and not the charge attack. And the Slingers here is still killing them. And down they all go. What costs 3 res? The Wonder, I think, is the only thing that costs 3 resources. Wood, gold, and stone. But Mangonel... Oh, if only there was a delete trick still. Gets a bit of a shot on the crossbows. What does it change for siege towers? We have less HP. We went from 220 to 175. And also less garrison space. So it only fits 5 units instead of 10. So, fewer units to taxi around, and slower speed. Because when it can carry 10 units, it gets to 1.3 speed, which is basically the same as a knight. When it only carries 5 units, it gets to 1.05 speed, which is just about the speed of a longsword with squires, and actually slower than the Jin swordsmen themselves. When was a patch? There wasn't a patch, I just made that change in the maps for TTL. We just discussed that among the admins a bit and decided rather than outright banning the siege tower, we do it like that. And thank you, Mr. Upper Boy. Thank you for using your Prime sub. Let's see, I think my alerts are out of sync, but that'll come up soon.
An abandoned house? No, a Saracen ambush.
Oh boy, we're gonna have a forward castle here. Thank you for the sub. Hope you enjoy the campaign quotations. So we'll have ballistics on the way for Bad Koala as the slingers come forward. And will the siege tower work here? Anything else could get a nice shot in. Oh, one goes down. Another slinger goes down. How much space does a ram have? It has 6 garrison space. Okay, that siege tower goes down right away. Well, there's a GG from Deeker. I don't think the siege towers really mattered there. I think he was down anyway. But kind of an interesting situation there where it's the slingers that do anti-infantry damage that were bolstered. Anyway, we'll look at the stats. And for military, we'll have a 90 to 70 KD for Bad Koala. More res collected for Bad Koala too. Everything kind of worked out for him after Feudal Age. So, again, so I don't have an overlay for this. So I'm going to have my Red Bull overlay out of game. I'll try to update that for the coming days. Do Trebs work on Circle Arena? Yes, trebuchets work. I didn't bug out the trebuchets again. You don't have to recall the time I made a typo and Trebs stopped working when we researched chemistry. Okay, but here we are. Let me give Bad Koala that win. So game number 2 on Monocle. So this is a map where the one change I made was I made sure there were 2 rings of fish around the outside. We had a couple of patches in an older version where you'd only have 1 fish and you couldn't get a great mill. I think all of the mill locations should be consistent and it should be pretty fair for both players. Like, we had something like this would extend for another couple of tiles. So here, pretty much wherever you place a mill, you're gonna have a decent mill location, and it's not gonna be one player with a good mill and another without a mill. That gives Trebs additional projectiles too. Let me make sure I'm reading my YouTube chat. Oh, hello, Synchrotron. How you doing? AoE2 bugs are really horrible right now. Trebs don't pack up Vills, ignore commands to build. 2 Vills can't chop the same tree. Really? Yeah. So they're definitely bugs. Nothing abnormal about that. Anyway, so this will be monocled. We'll have a wonderful, slow 3-Vil start in the Dark Age, as Deeker will push the deer under his TC and go out to build a mule cart. It'll be Armenians against Koreans. Okay, everyone, close your eyes. It's Koreans again. Close your eyes. I'll let you know when it's over. So you might not want to look. But we might see some Fire Lancers here from Bad Koala if it gets to that point. Maybe we'll see some early longswords or champions from Deeker? Feudal Age longswords with how aggressive this map could be fighting over the shorefish. Time to put a content warning on the stream. It contains Fire Lancers. Do I have the draft? I do have the drafts. I don't have an overlay for showing the drafts. I need to work on that. So apologies for not having that ready today. All the Red Bull casting has taken a lot of time. And I did not get the overlays set up like I wanted to, but I'm going to be doing that throughout the week, and hopefully it'll improve. Bad Koala, are you going to take that boar? I mean, Deeker can see that. Right? Oh my gosh, he's stealing a boar, but wait, don't run that way, don't run that way, the TC's there. Okay, how are Deeker's quick gate skills? Can he stop this? No. Well, if you're yellow, you at least got to pretend you're Viper and take the quick gate. So, boar chasing the scout. It's a hit. Oh boy. We'll be blocking the boar. There we go. Oh, spinning around. Oh, stops it. He stops it. A little bit too far for Bad Koala, and the boar is brought in from Deeker, brought into the TC. Also, hold on a second. Let me check the schedule real quick. We actually have a live set coming up, don't we? Yes. We have Babaroom versus Target in 18 minutes. So, actually, I'm doing what I should have done from the start. I'm going to speed through our slow Dark Age. And I'm going to try to get this game casted, and then hopefully by the time the drafts are done for the next set, we'll be able to do that one live. So let's actually speed this up a bit. We'll have lots of Dark Age in the future. Garrison all at once, but it has to stay on the tarmac for 10 minutes so they can put on seatbelts and get the safety talk. That'd be perfect. So, deer being pushed in here from Deeker, and he has a mill on the outside. Same thing out here for Bad Koala, and we have Feudal Age on the way from both of them. Please don't speed through. We will have live Dark Age. Bob, I'm speeding through the recorded Dark Age so we can get live Dark Age coming up next. We need slow speed Dark Age. There's Bad Koala up to Feudal. It will be Men-at-Arms for Deeker. He loses his Scout. It will be coming around to hit the berries while we'll have Bad Koala defending with a range. And as he gets over there, we'll have a tower defense. Let's see what comes out of the range. Archers, not skirms, archers. Oh, yes, archers. Oh, I forgot to put the logo on. Let me get a TTL logo. I'll do that after the game. I'll get a logo up. Because we actually have action now. I sped through the Dark Age. We have action. And longswords, let's go! Feudal Age longswords from the Armenians. Already we're seeing a different strat. New map, Manaspa. Not necessarily new, but I don't think it's been used in a while. As this is another Trozzini map that's fairly old at this point, but I spruced it up a bit for TTL. Did Hart or Vinch get the final spot? They are exactly tied and will play a show match to determine who gets the final spot. Came down to the wire. Vinch had a buzzer beater win against MBL, and is exactly tied with Hart. And bang bang skeet skeet 69. Thank you for the follow. Korean mirror show match. And it should be a Korean mirror on Vulpine. And imagine that goes to a score limit. Imagine imagine the drama if their show match goes down to a score limit victory. I know he would have been 5th without that 1 point from Nacho. Yeah, also, Ducks, hello Ducks. Also Obadiah. Perhaps the crazy thing is that Vinch lost to ACCM and needed to get 3 wins in a row to have a chance against Hart, who decided not to queue and just sit on his elo because he didn't want to lose points. And everyone else was in a game or not queuing, so the only match that Vinchester got was Nacho, and he won the game and got 1 point from it. He got 1 point, but then he ended up being exactly tied at the same elo as Hart, and that 1 point mattered. Yeah, the alternative to Nacho queuing would have been, no, he gets someone else around that elo, right? It is just hilarious that it's Nacho. Imagine if that were, like, T90 queuing. So what the plan is for their decider match, I don't know. I was told it would be in the coming days, according to what Trozzini wrote. So longsword's breaking through the house. And they will get through. More bills have to come repair. This is going to be close. That's getting down to... Okay, it goes down, it goes down. But at the same time, here come the archers. Longswords, they need to run, and they let a house foundation go up. That was a weird execution from Deeker. He decided he wanted to go after the skirms. Really could have gone through the house. A ladder-only 2-week tournament would be super cool. Have a special ladder, reset it, ready, set, go. I think Hera was talking about something like that. That could be interesting. As long as we don't give people minus 100 points for not using a 2-minute stream delay. Yeah, but random only, 100% random only. I was not a fan of that decision at all. I talked about that earlier. Like I said, in Stronghold Frenzy, we had a situation where Doubt and Jordan each had streamed without a delay, so we messaged them, told them to use the delay, and then subsequently they used it. And there was no drama, no big deal, or anything. And I think that whether it's admin losses or minus 100 points for a stream delay is pretty ridiculous, a penalty for something that is very, very minor, and that frankly they were allowed to stream without delay until the final 2 days anyway. And I think that minus 100 points is incredibly harsh and a horrible admin decision. Yeah, house gets destroyed for the 5th time. House is the wall. The house is the wall. He's just trying to scare Deeker into thinking that his economy is strong because he has a strong housing market, and that he should be intimidated and call the GG because of how good the housing market is. So, Skirm's here picking off the archers. Nice job destroying the archery range. Now that is some actual destruction there. Longsword's pushing forward. These longswords just need a siege tower or two. We got penalized Yodid, who got minus 100 points to the elo, which knocks him out from being 6th to out of the top 12. So he doesn't get a qualification advantage in the ladder, and I believe gets less prize money. Was this map in the previous season? No, it was not. We considered putting it there, and I had a half-finished map script, but it wasn't there. So longswords keep pushing in. Some walls from Koala to try to keep the longswords out. And Deeker's applying a ton of pressure here, wanting to get through this house. And some extra repairs from Koala, but that's too many longswords to repair against. He's getting through. He is getting through. There he goes. Vill's going down. Vill's going down. TC getting some shots on the longswords. Longswords turn around. Yeah, Yo can still qualify. Yeah, he just has to go through the entire round of 128. And everyone else moves up a slot. And Bad Crawl up to the Castle Age. And longswords take out that archery range. Yeah, you're rewarded with more games. So that tower out on the shorefish becomes a guard tower. And honestly, if I'm Deeker, I'm thinking, why don't I just run down that tower with the longswords? The downside for Deeker, as much as he has longswords, is he's stuck in the feudal age since he's pumping out so many longswords. And he's sending even more into the wood line of Bad Koala. This is crazy. Okay, more Vill's going down. He's got some skirms there. Bad Koala has to run back to the TC. He's got all of his Vills idled. He's got 29 Vills, but 15 of them are idled right now in the TC. Some of them don't even fit. The mills are going down. Oh my gosh, Deeker, this is amazing. He's just pumping longswords. These Vills have nothing to do, but he will have a castle. How does he get the castle? Where is he mining stone? Oh, he's been on the outside mining stone the entire time. And what do the Koreans have? They have a stone mining bonus. They have a stone mining bonus. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. So he's gonna Phosphoro War Wagon, essentially, with his eco, as Deeker loses his military to the TC, and he finds the stone miners, but too late. So how much eco do you need for war wagons? Pretty much 0, right? I mean, this castle will protect some wood and some gold. He'll get more food. Is food a mistake here? Should he just go to the castle and pump war wagons? Here come the war wagons. At least we're not seeing fire lancers. At least we're not seeing fire lancers. Any news on when we get the best of 21? Diff Tom, I have not heard any news about that. I'm keeping an eye on the Discord though. I'll check later on. Yeah, there definitely is some awkwardness, as you're right, about the handbook, because the World's Edge handbook wasn't particularly written for a ladder qualifier. It was mostly for the, like a tournament set of rules. So some of the penalties don't necessarily translate one-to-one. And there definitely is some ambiguity in there, or some room for decisions that have to be made. So, longswords take out a war wagon. The problem is, now Deeker can't do any more damage at this point. Maybe he could tower? But then you're towering Koreans who could guard tower, counter tower. So, I don't even know who's positioned to favor now. There are 4 archers from Bad Koala harassing Deeker. He's killed 19 Vills so far. So, Vills will fight the war wagons? That's probably not a good choice. He'll go down to the war wagons. And a skirm will hit the archers. Skirm, then all you can do now is feudal skirms, I guess. The war wagons are going to get in on the gold. They have so much pierce armor and so much HP. Who cares about the TC fire? Oh my gosh, they're getting on the gold Vills. Oh man, I've missed this game. I've had so much Empire Wars that I haven't seen this type of mayhem in an AoE 2 game in weeks now. It's not since KOTD, which, okay, that was December, but still. Yeah, he had a good approach here, but he didn't... I mean, the approach would have worked well if he wasn't against a good Phosphoro Civ. Right? If it was like castle into... I don't know. Some unique unit that's bad. Are unique units bad these days? Then he'd be better. Well, I'm trying to think, what's a bad unique unit these days? They've all been buffed so much. Maybe, like... Tarkin in this situation, maybe? Huskarl? Yeah, Huskarls, maybe. Samurai, pretty situational. Yeah, maybe Samurai. Longswords might do okay against Samurai. I mean, honestly, now that I think about it, Phosphorus kind of made every single Civ work. I've seen Woad Raiders or Berserks work. But food unit definitely harder than aside from maybe Conquistadors, than a wood and gold unit. FC Obuk. Obuk, that's one that maybe wouldn't work. So there's Castle Age now from Deeker. But I think we're also hitting that situation where there was that change made a while ago where they increased the gold cost of food at the market, so it costs more to buy your way up. But that does not hurt the Phosphoro builds as much as it hurts the counter players who might go aggressively in feudal and then need to buy their way up. These builds, even though it wasn't intended, they're usually the first ones up who don't need to use the market. And let's see, did he use the market when he went up? Yeah, we see Bad Koala hasn't used the market at all this game. And it's just Deeker who's been using the market. It's a Smurf situation. Oh, ducks with the old school emotes. Yeah, that's the thing. It hurts the defender even more. What I think the market nerf does is it hurts that buy your way up to Castle Age and do early crossbow play. So it hurts the very meta play. Well, it honestly, I think it's a buff for the Phosphoro builds because it hurts the defender more. It might be for a U pudding build. I mean, there probably are some fast castle builds that would rely on the market. But in general, especially if you want one of these wood unique units like the Ratha or the War Wagon or the Arambai, then I think you really are helped by the market change. Yeah, that's I've talked to Phosphoro and he has the same opinion. From talking to T90, he has the same opinion about it too. So, Fortified Church against a Rocket Cart push. It feels like Bad Koala has this now. This was an amazing game. But the Vill's forced out, and I don't think there's much left that Deeker can do. He can try to do a defensive workshop, but credit to Deeker for an amazing feudal longswords play. But that castle and the War Wagon's too much. As another Vill goes down and the church goes down. And yeah, there's the GG. That was sick, though. That was sick. Give him credit for that. And that's 105 to 62 KD for Bad Koala. And more res collected for Deeker, actually. that was insane. That's the good type of game. Oh man, I've missed these games. Throwing X-Men are good now, Albert. Throwing X-Men are good. Am I gonna stream the live game? Yeah, these are play all threes, and I think the live game needs to do a draft, so we are very quickly going to do game number 3, and I'll speed through the Dark Age. Yeah, they're drafting. Yeah. Alright, so we'll have Deeker as the Malay, Bad Koala as the Byzantines, and we will speed through the Dark Age times 11.12.5x, 13x, 13.4x, 13.5x. We're like Jordy trying to get warp 9.95 out of the warp engines going through this Dark Age here. So I did fix a bug I had in the map before where I didn't balance the deer properly. That's really the only change we made to Quarry. We used this back in Hidden Cup. One 8-player variety with the walls, ducks, making me do map scripting things. What elo are these players? Up here, around 2K4 to 2K5. Although Bad Koala probably a much more experienced tournament player than the elo would suggest there. I think he does more team games. Guessing T90's not streaming this because of the silly Empire Wars event overlapping with Silver League. He just streamed a lot of Red Bulls earlier today. He just streamed a lot of Red Bulls, so he probably needs a break. These games also did happen yesterday, so I'm just trying to cast the Rex to catch up. Oh, we got Bypass and Coast Arena. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Alright, so tower fight over here. And maybe we can just do this one at 2x speed so we can get to the live set. And Men-at-Arms. So Deeker, every game seems to have been very aggressive. Actually, I guess that first game he went for the dock, but the next 2 games, aggressive with the Men-at-Arms openings. Oh, change score. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I need to get back into the flow. For Empire Wars, we didn't have a score, and now we do. Now we do have a score. Thank you for the reminder. I need to get back into the habit of updating the score. So that's Double Bit Axe and Horse Collar done for Bad Koala. And Men-at-Arms looking to break through the house. Oh, is the tower bug still there where it doesn't shoot? Oh my gosh, that's horrible. That is horrible to see. I've noticed that quite a bit in KOTD too, when you have your tower that stops shooting sometimes. Oh, well, there's a hole on the hill, but Deeker should be able to notice that and fill it in. And, oh, he's going for the chop. He's going for the chop, but Bad Koala with a house right there to scout it. Does he have Town Watch? Oh, he's Byzantines, he's Byzantines. He has free Town Watch. That house will basically be an outpost, and he'll see it anyway with the Vil. Will he actually see it, though? It's in his line of sight. The reed gets chopped really quickly, and he needs to react to this. He needs to react to this. And he's through. Is the quick wall up in time? No, the quick wall's not up in time. He doesn't wall it off. He'll try to wall it off with stone behind this. But 4 Vils are in. Is this good, though? Quickly, a tower goes up for Deeker. But Bad Koala will come over with a scout. But the tower goes up. Skirms and a spear on their way over. Lots of archers. And oh my gosh, the Men-at-Arms and archers wanted to get in. And the tower will be denied by the archers from Bad Koala? Oh no, 96%. Oh, that is painful. Now, he's sending more Vils. He's going to chop through again. He can chop through again and make another slot to get through. I've never seen anyone actually play on the outside like this. Okay, let's maybe go normal speed if the other set's drafting. Then we have a set that will be live and they're drafting right now. And I want to catch that. These are just the last wreck we're casting. Vil goes down. I mean, what do you do here? Do you have to tower over here and then try to push through? We have Castle Age on the way. And, oh, he's gonna stone wall now, get a stone wall, while sending his own archers through the gap that Deeker had chopped. And the archers are through. Larger army for Bad Koala. And even with the skirms, I think he should win this fight. Has to be careful, maybe Deeker has more skirms in the back. But he's gonna clear this. Oh my gosh, disaster. Everything went wrong for Deeker there. And Byzantines with the free town watch, apparently a nice bonus for detecting if people are chopping through those reeds. He is cleaning the archers for the most part, though, and with another skirm out, he should be okay. But he'll lose all of the Men-at-Arms. Oh. It is refreshing to see games that are not Empire Wars, Skirm Wars, I'll tell you that. That is amazing. 2 HP left on the Men-at-Arms. And we have Deeker up to Castle. So at the very least, he's Castle, while Bad Koala is only Feudal. And he will add in a TC, so we might have a bit of a boom. Although, wait a minute, Deeker didn't actually wall this up, so Bad Koala could send more army that way. He could send Vils that way. Alright, let's see. The army's cleared, so let's maybe speed up again. Again, we just want to get to the live set. We'll have a monastery here for Deeker. And he has an archer over here, ready to keep the Vil away. Tower, or outpost going up. You want quick start TTL quarry? Don't scare me, Hagbitter. Relic being taken from Deeker from the middle. He's getting more outposts up. And on the other side, we have a couple of houses for scouting and some skirms hitting the buildings. Bad Koala up. And Deeker actually has a nice Vil lead. That up timing from the melee, giving him a good advantage in the TC placements. Or the TC timings, that is. Why was the house not up against the reeds? The initial house, I mean, that wasn't attempting to stop the cut. That was just he wanted to build a house and he wanted vision of potential cuts. And he had good timing for it. So this will be a castle in the middle, but a castle atop cracked terrain. So the cracked terrain will indeed make the castle weaker. So fast imp though from Bad Koala as the Byzantines. All right, Byzantine fast imp. Here he'll see he's safe because he is scouting. Remember, Byzantines have free town watch and town patrol. And with town patrol, look at all that vision the houses give him. He sees everything with that outpost too. Yeah, it's also downhill, right? So you are not, even with Byzantines, you don't want to take a treb fight. You want to get, Koala looks like he wants to get imp in time to be able to treb the monastery and push. But you're going fast imp against the melee, so here we have Deeker up to imp 2, and we have a glorious cataphract here. Killing those skirmishers. There we are. Trebuchet, or the Trebuchet castle attacking the house as it's making a Trebuchet. Yeah, the left-handed cataphracts, right? The left-handed cataphracts. Packing quite a punch, yes. But now the Trebs are out, and I guess the Trebs probably go first for the monastery. Oh, wait. Imagine Imp were in that TC. Nah, Imp's over there. This is, okay, Bad Koala, hoping Imp would be in this TC, but it's not, And Deeker wisely running the relics back. We'll go for maybe X4 speed, we just have a Treb, and the crossbows are through. The castle will be up, though. And now we'll have Imp also for Deeker. Let's see, Karambit Warriors probably will be useless in the presence of Cataphracts. I would love to see that, though. That would be a slaughter. Cataphracts legit shut down the infantry strength of the melee. That they do. Yeah, there's one cataphract on the field. Karambits beware. I mean, cataphracts are such a lovely unit that, thankfully... Yeah, you know, the one thing I like about the cataphracts is that I think they made Logistica a bit cheaper at some point. Maybe Elite Cataphract upgrade. They haven't given insane buffs to the cataphract. They haven't turned it into one of those overbuffed units where we see it all the time. It's still really strong, but its use case is pretty niche. And I think that's what still makes it fun. The fact that seeing it is impressive. You want to see the tightest patrol of fully upgraded cataphracts versus the same for Karambits with Logistica. Oh, and the splash damage. I don't think that would last too long. Yeah, it's one poorly thought out upgrade away from being completely overwhelming. Exactly. Do Biz not want to use cataphracts? Usually Byzantines can't afford cataphracts because Byzantines with cheap imp like to play a fast imp situation like this. And here we see one cataphract, or saw one cataphract. We're not seeing 5 or 6 cataphracts. We're not seeing investment into upgrades for cataphracts. They're very situational, and they have less pierce armor than the paladin line does. So they're actually not that great against archers. They're weaker than most cav is against archers. But they resist anti-cav bonus damage, making them great against camels and halbs. And they still have a ton of attack. So even against archers, if you can close the distance and fight with the cataphracts, then they're great. But it's finding the right situation for them that matters, but you get them in the right situation. and they don't take bonus damage, and they destroy things. Stack should make Rathers with the... Yes, it should. Or elephants. I guess maybe harder for elephants to clump them up, even because they're bigger themselves, but yes. Or Drazina for the Slavs. That'd probably be the #1 example. And on the hill here, we have the Trebs from Deeker managing to defend. Behind this, actually, Bad Koala, with 2 TCs, has quite an eco, and still has some arbs that he managed to get forward into the middle between these 2 TCs. So a bit of an awkward setup for eco management here for Deeker, where he loses some farming space and has to go to the outside for the wood. And looks like he won't actually lose the castle, but he'll get close to losing it. And as the bombard cannon comes forward, he feels that he's out of stone. Okay, he has no stone left, and oh, the arbalest sitting right on that stone pile. I guess there's only 55 left. He wouldn't have had any more stone. The other stones are really far away, so he's not going to be able to repair the castle anymore. And with that, he will call the GG, and we'll get to some live time games. So that's 42 to 29 KD in favor of the Byzantines, and we'll see the extra fast Imperial Age. Well, 28 minutes isn't extra fast. And perhaps the most crucial thing, finding and stopping the cut, which was an absolute disaster for Deeker. 90+% on the tower that didn't finish, and then Bad Koala running his own archer army through the hole he had chopped. Yeah, and that's true. The entire eco is dedicated to repairing the castle, so you're not collecting as many resources anyway. So let's see. We should have some live games right now. Are they going Babroom Target? They are in game 1 on Bypass. Sorry, I don't have a scene for the drafts. Let me just grab the draft so I can see them myself. It'll be High Tides, Coast Arena, and Bypass, and these are play all 3, so we will see all of the maps. Where are we at? Where are we at? There we go, Bypass. So thank you all, and we're still, until that show match, I guess, we'll run the sub goal. We need 19 subs for the chicken cosplay. Alright, so Bypass. Happy clown map time. We will have Target to the southwest as the Blue Britons and Babroom to the northeast as the Yellow Portuguese. Now, the one thing I did about this map was I took, when I scripted this version, I took the trees and I moved them in by 3 or 4 tiles, and that way players should always have a palisade gate on each side. Sometimes I saw one player would get 2 palisades, and one player would only have palisade walls and wouldn't have the gate, and their Borlors would need to delete something or be super awkward, so I tried to even that out a bit. Otherwise, this is just good old Bypass. We've seen it in a number of tournaments before. And we have quicksand terrain in the middle where you can't build anything there, but there is a gap on each side where you could tower rush or wall in your opponent. Where can you watch the games if no one happens to be streaming them? Well, so if you want to watch a video, someone does have to create that video, right? You could spectate the games yourself. You can spectate them yourself. Otherwise, sometimes the Spectator Dashboard website is AoE2rex.com, has a list of everyone who casts a game. But if no one happens to be streaming them, then that also does mean there isn't a place to watch them. Does the quicksand do something in case being unbuildable? Does the quicksand do something except being unbuildable? No, it is just like rock terrain. It's essentially a reskinned rock terrain for the Afghan themed. It is unbuildable, and as I said, you could go forward to wall off your opponent. That is exactly what Target did. I didn't notice because it was a palisade, and only the corner bits have colors. But yes, he walled in Babroom, and Babroom will be breaking through the palisades. Now, I know both of these players have been practicing, because Target has been DMing me about bugs in maps, and Babroom also posted in the map feedback channel. So I know they've both been practicing and looking at the maps. So they're both ready for this. And Hecklol, thank you for the follow. Yeah, still Shira. Who's the underdog? I think they're pretty close. Babroom has a higher elo than Target, But with 2 clown maps with bypass and coast arena, I think that Target probably has the clown advantage in the map pool. Yep. Also the fact, Dux, that the past few weeks, the absolute top pros would have been concerned with the Red Bull ladder. So it's nice that we have silver first. So I know we've gotten a bit of map feedback, and hopefully everything's worked out so far. Just like I said, that first game on High Tides, I was upset one of the golds didn't spawn. But that was also something I didn't look at that map as closely as I should have, because I had just reused the one from Hidden Cup. So that's also my bad for not checking it. Bobrum also likes arena maps? Okay, well that would be why we have 2 arena maps. So, Tower Rush from Bobrum as he's going for the Men-at-Arms and Archer push. So, I dare to call this a Vinch-style Archer Rush with the Tower and Men-at-Arms. Or the Tower and Range. Maybe not quite, because he did add Men-at-Arms. That's usually just Tower plus Archer. But also meant more for arena. So, Target continuing to try to wall to keep this out. We'll have Castle Age on the way. It's not Empire Wars, yes. Hello, Noob Netrum. And Castle Age on the way for Target, as this Palisade will be taken down by Men-at-Arms. And Men-at-Arms also go for the Market. And Ville's trying to quick wall. Archers want the snipe. Fletching is in for the archers. And Target will go for his own defensive tower right behind here. And we'll get enough HP on the house. I think he'll sustain his defenses here. And house here going up. That'll keep the wall up on the left side for Target, as the Men-at-Arms want to break through. And we'll have a total of 5 relics around the map. Ooh, Capture Age just flashed. Hello, Capture Age.
Yay.
And the archers will take down that Ville, and that will stop any more walling. But once Castle Age comes in, Target can do whatever he wants. Is this maybe a TC plus a workshop? It's gonna be a monastery. A Britain's monastery, okay. Let's go. You can't take the clown out of the clown. Cheap Britain's TC and a monastery. So on these closed maps, Britons, Portuguese, we're finally seeing Britons in a 1v1. Did we see any Britons at all during Empire Wars? I don't think so. I don't recall. Why not +1 archers? Well, to do that, he would need to do a barracks, and then he'd need to do a range. And in all likelihood, he would probably want at least fletching and either bodkin or crossbow. And then he probably still needs at least 4+ archers to be effective. So that's actually a long way away. The monk is simply a monastery and a monk. And with even longer range than the Briton crossbows, should by himself keep this army away with even 1 monk. Maybe 2 monks. Yeah, and there he goes, Babaroom. He could tank a conversion and try to keep pushing. But now another monk comes out, that'll get another conversion. And even if they break through that house, they have nowhere to go. And now feudal versus castle, but Babaroom will have more resources collected since he had more villagers in feudal. Takes about 5 vills worth of time. I think it's even more than that. But around 5-ish, 6 vills to get to the castle age. And that's time your TC is idled. So if you go up to the castle age while having 5 more villagers, you're collecting more resources during that time too. But the trade-off is, now the other TC goes up as we have a conversion, but the monk is picked off. And Target will zoom ahead in total vills with getting the boom started earlier. Yeah, and he also went Market Blacksmith FC. So he didn't have that barracks to do the range to begin with. Much easier to plan your build around a range than it is suddenly to add a range. Why not workshop? Could have gone for a workshop too. But I guess going for monks lets him get a head start on collecting relics. And he wants a TC on the side, and nice map awareness from Bob Room to have that outpost out there. One scout here guarding a relic. And the scout might see the vills that are coming around from Babaroom, and if target is paying attention, he needs to see them himself. They're in the line of sight of his scout, and the scout will aggro onto them. So target should be aware of this, and doesn't have any upgrades on the scout, but he might pick a vill. Babaroom will wall that villain. Nicely done. As more men-at-arms and archers come forward. Yep, exactly, Ducks, exactly. So good awareness from both players, looking at each side of the map, both aware of what each other's doing. Babaroom with that outpost will see the TC. And he also has his mill out here. Target doesn't quite see the mill yet. And Babaroom wants his TC on this side. So not going to have a TC war, unfortunately. That would be cool. I think as the Portuguese, you don't want a TC war the Britons anyway, because their TCs should be cheaper to repair now. If I recall, that was a change made at some point in DE that the Britons, even though their TCs were cheaper, they weren't cheaper to repair. But DE changed it so they now are cheaper to repair, corresponding to their bonus starting in the Castle Age. So you can't douche with them and have a cheaper to repair TC in the Dark Age. But you could TC push in the Castle Age and have it be cheaper to repair. No loom, it is a clown map. Oh, you're right. There might not have been loom on the Vill there. And let's see. 8 out of 40. Might not have had loom at the time. You're right. So the crossbows won't deny this TC. Britons in a tournament? Hey, we have some closed maps in this tournament, Old Man Willow. Britons can definitely be viable. Maybe even Teutons can be viable. Who knows? Who knows?
Ready.
Barracks and university both go up, and a house is placed down. What Fire Lancer bonus does this Briton or whatever Civ get? If the Britons had Fire Lancers, their tech tree would read Foot Archers, +1/+2 range in Castle/Imperial Age, and Fire Lancer charge attack, +1/+2 range. As silly as the Koreans are, as we'll have a siege push here, at least their bonus of cheaper Fire Lancers makes sense, and it isn't archery range units and Fire Lancers more HP. Or mounted units and Fire Lancers attack faster. So workshop over here, and Babaroom could maybe deny the workshop if he gets the Mangonel in the right position. Might have to tank a tiny bit of TC fire for the moment. Okay, target needs to send his village to raise that workshop. Will he take a hit there? Okay, he gets it up just fine. This is where Mangonel pushing the Britons can be tricky if they have their own crossbows that outrange you, but as noted earlier, no crossbows for target. Fire Lancer dance. Oh, that's a good one, 11. That's a good one. Emo Warrior somewhere heard Teutons mentioned and smiled. I bet he wishes that Teutons had white feather guards. Alright, nice Mangonel micro from Target. They feel with 4 TCs also as the Britons, Target has a nice Vill lead, and at this point is simply holding on. So ballistics on the way. Vill goes down. Teuton Fire Lancers with extra melee armor. I think the cheaper Korean ones are even better. And okay, crossbow raid, nicely done from Babaroom. And he will get in. Those are some exposed vills on the stone from Target. No ballistics on the crossbows, but if the vills run in a straight line... Let's see, he'll get... only 2 vills. That's the downside of not having ballistics, not getting all the vills. Malian Fire Lancers with Pierce Armor. Now, those would be insane. Yeah, no, actually, Old Man Willow, we learned this earlier. Fire Lancers inside of towers actually add arrows to them already. They don't even need crenellations. It's like they already benefit from crenellations. Everyone with a Fire Lancer has a Teuton Fire Lancer. So Knight's picking up the Mangonel. And that Mangonel goes down. But Civs get Fire Lancers, Koreans, Vietnamese, Jurchens, and Chinese. Speedy Celt Fire Lancers? No, what we need is Mongol Fire Lancers for the Siege Tower warp speed boost. Those things would be insane. Armenians getting Fire Lancers in feudal. Oh my gosh, 99.35%. And Babroom dodges the Mangonel. So target up to Imp. Which TC is the Imp TC? This one. Okay, you picked a safe one. Babroom closing the Vil gap a bit. But still, huge res collected difference. Would Sicilian Fire Lancers take less bonus damage? That they would. That they would. Hindustani ones benefit from Shiitake. Who knows, next time there's an update, Fire Lancers will probably be able to mine gold from docks. You never know what's gonna happen. Hello, Hexacatty, how you doing? And there's a Mangonel that goes down. And Imp almost in. Oh, the Vils kind of blocked the Mangonel. Took more damage. And it finally does go down. But now the Briton crossbows, they have 8 range, so they outrange the Mangonels. And it becomes rather difficult to micro here as the Mangonel player. Is there any way to watch matches that have already been played? I just casted the match between Deeker and Bad Koala that was played, and after this match, I'm going to keep casting more Rex. So I don't think anyone's casted them yet, but I'm going to try to get caught up so far to cast everything today. Oh, nice! Mangonel shot on the crossbows. And now that the crossbows are on Imp, immediately they get 9 range, and after this Bracer and Chemistry, they'll get 10 range and extra attack. His Slav Fire Lancers with Drazina. Perfect. Oh yeah, perfect for the stand ground patrol meta. Those might actually be the strongest.
Ready.
Also the splash damage applying to the charge attack. That would be crazy. So Chemistry, Padded Archer Armor, both on the way for target. And this bill will go down. And what do the Portuguese do against these archers? I don't know. Now remember that longbows themselves actually are just strictly weaker in terms of stats than arbalests. Give +1 attack to the crossbows, and the longbow actually is just worse because of the accuracy. Yeah, it's 70 accuracy compared to 85 for the crossbows. That goes up to 90 for the arbalest. You actually do need elite longbow to have a unit that's better than arbs, and that's a pretty big investment. We'll see if target tries to go for it. It's always a question of which unit you want to go for. What isn't a question, though, is that Werewolf Trebs are great for destroying enemy Trebs, even for countering Bombard Cannon. So we could see Werewolf Trebs from target here, and he does have a little hill in front of his castle where he could deploy the Trebs and take a Treb fight. You think we'll see Fire Lancer nerfs or buffs to other infantry in the future to make them more viable? I think that we definitely need to see Fire Lancer nerfs. Buffs to infantry, I mean, I think that infantry is actually in a good spot right now, as long as something's done about the siege towers to make them less silly. And double castles here as target is really looking to win a Treb fight then. Treb's popping out. So we have chainmail armor on the way for target as he tries to push through some houses, and has a good number of crossbows and even more longbows on the way. So I do love to see a good longbowman play. And this is perhaps the map where you could chop... Oh my gosh, I got it. Chat, I got it. What he should do, just onager cut some of these forests, but don't cut all the way in. Use the forest as a shield for your longbows. Keep them back here and shoot the wood lines. Like a sudden death cut on hideout to do a Treb snipe, just cut a path for your longbows. You could even cut from the middle too if you want a shorter area. Or maybe you could Warwolf Treb cut for trees with accuracy. Oh, yes. I think they need to take away CA for some civs. Yeah, CA was the unit that I think every single civ got, aside from the American civs. And Judy, thank you for the follow. It was just a standard unit. So there was never much specialization for civs that did or didn't get it. The only one that really doesn't then is Bohemians. It does feel that a lot of civs that never had proper cav archers in the past go them now. Like Japanese, Turks, Vietnamese. Literally anyone. Because in the past it was Huns and maybe Mongols. And now maybe it's been a bit overtuned to the point where everyone does them. And Rob the Peck, thank you for the follow too. Well, wait, why the heck is the organ guns question mark censored on YouTube? Toot and Helmet, welcome in. And Shilshira, thank you also for the follows. Thank you all for the follows, because we were just about 200 followers away from 15,000. And we're also at 30K on YouTube, at just about, so again, thank you all for following there. Turks always had that, right? But cav archers themselves were never quite good enough for the Turks to use without any specific bonus for them. And thank you, List Tomanique for the follow, and I Unknowns. I read those in the opposite order, but thank you both. Leather archer armor on the way for target. Love your passive series on YouTube. Well, thanks for watching the stream. What happened to your Korean mirrors? You see no towers here? What even is the purpose of AoE 2 without the Koreans? Oh, we can all thank Microsoft in the year 2000 for telling Sandy to add the Koreans to AoE 2. Live TTL, Arbase. Hello, Arbase. Arbase, I need you to look at game 1 between Deeker and Bad Koala and tell me what you thought about the gold in the south and about the siege tower usage. So Treb getting hit here. Treb's losing some HP to all the skirms. And do we have Warwolf yet? Yes, Warwolf is in. And that is 100% accuracy and blast damage. So you do a great job of destroying enemy Trebs and also killing the repair vills. And some dodgeball here. And target not going to repair the Treb. That's because he's microing on the right, it looks like. Pushing in with more Trebs. Also, Arbase, we have Coast Arena drafted, so we'll see Coast Arena this set. No, the Britons do not get any cannon other than Cannon Galleon. Yeah, instead they get Super Trebs. And there is Elite Longbow on the way. We still will need Yeoman, but at least we have Elite Longbow. Now the Trebs can even try to Treb the Skirms with their blast damage. So they get that cannon, they will. And good win for target. Fended off the early men-at-arms aggression. Had a good boom behind this, great scouting to see the outside TC from Babaroom. And now with elite longbowmen and all their fancy metal armor, he's on his way to victory. Werewolf makes the dodgeball easier. Not if you attack ground in different locations. Yeah, proper clown set. And we also have high tides. So it's been refreshing to see. This is our second set. It's refreshing to see some Dark Ages. So Treb's still going down. Castle killing some scouts over here. Yeah, immediately putting our base to work. So Cavalier on the way from Babaroom. So Cavalier on the way. But will Cavalier work? The Britons can simply go Halb, and they have all the melee upgrades already. Does he have Halb? And he has Halb. So he doesn't have many trained, but he's adding them in, prepared for a Cav switch from Babaroom. And Light Cav ready to run in and snipe off the Treb. And the Treb goes down. Our base missing the Korean mirrors already. We did see Koreans played. Although we saw a very interesting longsword Korean game in the first set. I don't know if you watched all the Recs yet, but that was a fun Koreans game. And is that even a sentence we can say? Fun in Koreans game all at once. So the castle here from Babaroom crumbles, and Treb snipes the other Treb. Down it goes. And more Halbs rushing forward. And cannon going down. Treb sniping the cannon. Treb taking some damage too. Yeah, our base is in Spain right now. Hopefully some warmer weather for adminning TTL. And Babaroom doesn't want to give up all that easily, but he is down by just about 5k score, so we're hitting that ACCM territory. Alright, also thank you everyone on YouTube. We're hitting just about 100 viewers there, so welcome in, welcome in. As the Treb push continues, and I'm not seeing a way back from Babaroom at this point. He doesn't want to resign when he's still at 170 pop, and he's going to do what he can to hold on. At least there's not a time limit. You don't like more accurate Trebs? It is imperative for Treb versus Treb fights, though. Yep, he does indeed have Warwolf. He does indeed have Warwolf and Yeoman, so he has all the techs. He has the fully upgraded Elite Longbowman with 12 range. 12 range, and there is the GG from Babaroom. And there we are, target takes game number 1. So I guess that means we'll have to wait for game number 3 to get Coast Arena. But it'll be worth the wait. I hope. I want to see some Coast Arena. So that's 214 kills for target, 169 deaths for Babaroom. Or 169 kills for Babaroom. 71k to 64k res. Better imp time for the Britons, and GG. Again, I don't have an overlay for this yet. I'll be making that during the week. Too much Red Bull, but thank you all for tuning in, and let me show you the draft. High Tides will be next. I can just do the draft this way on this monitor. There we go, dual window management. There we are, drafts. So we had bypass here. That's played, it's won by target. And that was Britons over Portuguese. So next we have High Tides, that's Babaroom's home map. And then we have Coast Arena for target. As they load into the next game, I'm just going to take a very quick break. I'm going to run to the bathroom. I will be right back, so stay tuned. Why did you leave 2 closed maps versus an arena player? I guess we do have a lot of closed maps to pick from. Bypass, Coast Arena, Zimbabwe. I guess, I was going to say, Quarry, that kind of fulfills the same role. There's also Tulo. Lots of maps to ban against a closed map player, thankfully. So you can go pretty deep into your bag of tricks if you want. And High Tides, here we are. So here we have Babaroom, this time in the green. This time in the green, he will be to the west, and target will be the Blue Persians to the east. So villagers on the way for target. And, ooh, okay. Lithuanians with a straggler tree build. So 2 hybrid map saves. The Lithuanians, they can go for the early dock because they have an extra 100 food. They can put more vills on wood and then go for the dock. So Babaroom, I saw him asking about the maps in the map feedback channel. He is practicing and he's got a build prepared for this. Hello, Jean on YouTube, and feels good to see your Britons win in 2026. Agreed. And that's coming from Teuton Helmet. And the Britons usually counter the Teutons. It's amazing to see someone with Teuton to their name praising the Britons, but that's the stage of Age of Empires we're at. I miss those civs. Remember that time in Red Bull years ago when Viper was the Teutons and he went crossbows? Yeah, fish look well distributed. Yeah, Arbase, can you... I need to double check. What did we write down? Are there supposed to be 4 golds down here or 5? Because if it's 4, then that's okay. There was just a map earlier where I felt like maybe they could have been distributed slightly better. But I probably shouldn't worry about it. I can't be too perfectionist here. The maps do need some randomness to them. Hello, Gothic brother. People play Teuton Expo Skirm. They don't even go Teuton Infantry, do they? Teutons in Japanese for the unique unit. Yeah, Byzantines are always my favorite because of the Constantinople city and the Barbarossa campaign. So target sending a Vil forward. That Vil will go for the shorefish. Or go for a dock on the shorefish. Dock up first, of course, for Babaroom, though, as Lithuanians. Didn't we just say neutral? I mean, yeah, they are neutral, but, like, imagine this gold spawns right here. Then there's, like, a slight advantage for the player on the west. But, I mean, it's neutral enough, right? It doesn't really matter down there. It's far from the players. And hello, Caterpillar, how are you? And hello, Ray. What did you miss? You missed a lot. You missed some drama in Red Bull. You missed... I mean, the last day of Red Bull had everything. The ladder coming right down to the wire. 2 players with an exact tie against each other. Nearly making a silly admin decision. Oh, my gosh, I forgot to add the TTL logo. I said I was going to do that between the games, and I completely forgot. Let me add the TTL logo. Do I have it? Do I have a TTL logo somewhere? I don't. Rbase, where can I find a TTL logo? I need a TTL logo. Oh, and also I forgot to add... Oh, no, I didn't forget. I did add the win. And Nilly, Yo apparently streamed at some point with no spec delay in the last 48 hours, and then minus 100 elo from him. So he drops out of the... He was 6th, but drops down to 14th. I know. Caster chat? Caster chat, thank you, thank you. Okay, ooh, thank you, thank you. I'll grab the silver logo. I'll save all of them to my desktop for now. Alright. Image, TTL, silver logo. Thank you very much. And we will put the logo there. Boom. There or above the score? I guess above the score, maybe. Because there will block if I put information up on Capture Age. Right there. That ought to be good. Yo streamed without a delay. That's not about a siege tower. He streamed without a delay in the last 48 hours or so. And got minus 100 points for that. It is a ruling I do not like. And we also had a situation where, I don't know, because when Nacho, I assume he was casting and then matched against Vinchester. Was he streaming with a delay at that point? Because if he didn't have a delay, then he's playing a decisive role in a tournament where he doesn't, he's not in the top 25, so there's nothing that happens to him. Like, what happens then? Did he stop his stream? Okay, because I saw people discussing that. I don't know if he... I didn't see the stream, I just saw him play the game. But it's the same thing, right? Because Hera was casting a lot of games. And that would be really annoying for Hera to have to go from, if he wanted to play a game, from casting to restarting his stream with a 2-minute delay. And that hurts overall viewership for the tournament if players have to swap between the 2 modes when casting. So it's never really been a rule I've liked to begin with. And I feel it was really strange that the ruling was minus 100 elo without any type of warning or indication, as far as I know, given to the player. Yeah, I know, but I'm not saying it's Nacho's fault or anything for doing it. I'm just saying it's a situation that mattered a lot at the end of the leaderboard. And yeah, imagine if T90 had faced Vinch in that situation. Imagine the drama from that. And Vil picked off by Men-at-Arms. And Men-at-Arms fighting the villagers. And another villager goes down. So Men-at-Arms getting it from Babaroom. Target had tried to wall this off, and the Vils are all going down. One more Vil. That's 4 Vils killed so far. And the Men-at-Arms still are not walled out. Target did not turn and do his walls. He's too much of a closed map player, used to having the walls built for him. He's going to try to run that Vil, but even so, this is a ton of idle time. And will this be another dead Vil? The Men-at-Arms getting a nice set of hits. Yes, it will be. All these Vils are super low. When subsequent archers come in, they can clean them up. Oh, it is in Nacho's VOD. Okay. Interesting. I love how relatable Target's APM is. Am I casting Survivalist? He's going to play later tonight, and I'm going to cast Rex. I don't know if I'll cast Rex until I get to him, but I will try to cast that. I think that's 8 p.m. for me, which is in 5 hours. But yeah, I would like to cast that. Yeah, Mr. Yo, streaming without delay could only hurt him, not help. Well, I mean, it could help you if you're reading your chat and chat is giving you information. But for a player of Yo's level, it's hard to, like, get tips from chat, right? And it's also going to be kind of distracting if you're doing that. If you have chat who's, like, watching other people play and then typing in your chat, but it certainly could give you information. If you're not looking at your chat, though, streaming with delay certainly can be a downside because it enables more people to then see your stream, and you're putting yourself at risk of other people spec cheating off of you. Not to say that other people would, but it's not just anything that's strictly good or bad. There, in terms of gameplay, both good. There are things that help you and things that could harm you. So I think deducting prize pool would have been the better option. I agree with that. It also, because it messes up the seating for everyone else. And here's the question, did everyone else know about that? I doubt it happened due to a language barrier. Yo speaks English and usually translates everything for the Chinese players. So I doubt it was a language barrier issue for him. If it was someone like Lix, then I could see that. But yeah, I agree with Arbase. Because when did he stream without the delay, and when was the ruling made? Because if everyone else knows that Yo is moving down 100 points, that changes how they queue in the ladder, right? And if this is just declared all the way at the end of the event, which is when I first saw it, then the whole strategy everyone else would have employed on the ladder might have changed. So, anyway, we have skirms coming in from target. Skirms going for archers. And the archers will be forced back by Babaroom. Scout kills a skirm. And the skirm keeps running around. It was made. When was it made known? Because I did not actually see that until the end. I didn't see an announcement of it anywhere in the Discord or anything. Yeah, and I can definitely see a player forgetting because they didn't need to use a stream delay until the final 48 hours. So he probably just went to play Red Bull like he had been doing and then forgot that there was a difference for the final couple days. Yeah, Yo uses Discord. It's not going to be a Discord issue for Yo. And Target will just call the GG. Alright, Target. Well, he's only down by a single Vil. But he took too much damage from the men-at-arms, I guess, and feels like he's losing the water. Feels like an early GG, though. I mean, the res collected's the same. He has the same number of Vils. He's probably just excited to play Coast Arena. But he'll call it there. I don't think that game was over. There are no more men-at-arms. There are 5 archers around here. Okay, so what Target's seeing is his Walling Vil was killed, and that 5 archers are going to get in with 2 scouts. And he's thinking he probably doesn't have a defense against that, even with the tower coming up. Yeah, I mean, he has skirms out, though. You get 1 spear and another skirm, and you're probably okay. But he, just like the rest of us, Target is probably excited to see Coast Arena. So let's see this. We'll have a 16 to 13 KD for Babaroom. We'll have slightly more res collected. And slightly slower to feudal, but he did do a ton of damage with those men-at-arms early on to all those Vils that Target had. And he probably thinks he's a bit farther behind than he really is because he lost 6 villagers. And maybe he's getting some kills on the water where it doesn't look like either player really has an advantage here. He still has 2 fishing ships working. But I think that was maybe a bit early for Target. Alright, this map's made specifically for TTL. So I scripted the maps, but they were not specifically for TTL. A lot of them came from other events or were used before. Reverse Acropolis is new for this event specifically. The version of Valley we have is very updated from DE's Valley, so that's almost a new map. The rest of the maps were used in other events before. We have a variety of map authors, and I made some final bug fixes or changes to the maps to make them more balanced. Yeah, High Tides, that one we just saw came from, as an old T90 map. That might have even been from the Voodly days. I think that was Algernon who originally made it. That is not true, Vanilla Donut. So where are we? I need to find the next map. And there we are, Coast Arena. Coast Arena. It was weird to announce he's stopping ladder play at 4 GMT, then jump on the ladder play Vinch. Well, if he didn't jump on the ladder, Vinch would not have tied Hart, because then he wouldn't have had a high enough elo opponent to tie him. Hello to Boos. I need to leave the previous game. Oh no. Was Sato queuing? Was Sato higher elo than MBL? Because I saw Sato had just finished a game, because he did 2 games in the time that Andy played 1, and finished higher than Andy because of that. Yeah, because Andy had a really long game against Tato, and in that time Sato won 2 games and passed him. Is that 1809? Okay, that probably would have been plus 10 the same way then. It might have been plus 11. Wait. I gotta... If that's an accurate number, as load into this game. Hold on, let me open my elo calculator. Failed to download match content. Thanks, DE. Hold on, we got a exclamation mark elo. Let me open up my calculator. Do we know what Vinch was? I think it was 1931. Yeah, it was 10 points to 1809. And yeah, that would have been plus 11 if he got Sato. That would have been plus 11 if he was 1809. That would have been 1 more point. That would have been enough if he got Sato. Maybe Vinch should be upset at MBL then. He should be like, yo, if I had Sato, I would have won. So, Coast Arena. Now, I showed off some of the map scripting of this map on stream. This was originally a map by the Mad Catter. Can I check the sheep and boar? Do we have sheep out here? There are 2 more turkeys there. Looks like we have 5 left? That's what we should have, right? Or is he missing 2? We have 5 left there. Now, this was originally made by the Mad Catter. If we are missing 2, then we need to restart. But Bob Room should probably be aware of that. Well, we're 3 minutes in. He probably took them already. So maybe we're good. Oh my gosh, what is this? This is like very calm 3-villager Dark Age start. And I can't even check the map in time. I think Bob Room would know. This feels right. He's got 5 sheep left as he's taking a boar. This feels good. One of the things on your list, yes. Yeah. It was fun for the viewers, but I feel that the end of the day on the ladder was more about the queue and the timing and the clock management. And maybe that's fine, but I think it's subject to a bit too much manipulation of who is queuing versus not queuing. Or finishing games in time. I don't know what the solution to that is. But it felt a bit weird. I was looking more at the queue situation than the game at the end. Yeah, I mean, it's fair to say they have weeks to play, but the problem is that the elos tend to rise over time because the ladder is over such a short period. And your elo will also depend on the elo of your opponents, right? So if you play someone with a higher elo, you gain more points. If you play someone with a lower elo, or if you play someone with a higher elo and you lose, then you don't lose as many points. So if you stack most of your games at the end, you need fewer total games played to reach your actual level, versus playing lots of games in the beginning that you could play lots of games in the beginning, be at the top of the leaderboard, but the top at that point is 1700. And then as more people start to commit and play games towards the end, that rises to 1900. And even though you played a bunch of games, you still need to commit to playing those games at the end to get your elo at the right spot. Which is kind of a cool feature of the ladder itself, that it forces people to be playing more at the end. But also does have that downside that your early successes on the ladder can be a bit fleeting. So, as I was saying about Coast Arena, we do have at least a nice little Dark Age to discuss the drama. I've missed this. So, Coast Arena, originally a map from the Mad Catter, and I spent a lot of work adjusting it because I wanted the gates to be fairer so that we had 3 gates per player. And if you saw my map scripting stream, I ended up doing some very hacky stuff where we use comments as if statements, and we have an absolutely lovely setup of gates around the map. Is there a date for the 4th place game? Nope, the last I saw, Trezini said in the coming days, so he needs to talk to both players and schedule it. And Mexicore88, thank you for the follow, is Armenians against Italians. So Armenians-Italians, 2 interesting civ picks in that they're both somewhat hybrid civs that are good at the water maps, but also good closed map civs. Armenians with the fortified churches, Italians good monks and good fast imps for the castle fights, and Viper Sita, thank you for the follow. Very hacky is a drastic understatement, yes. Maybe next time they can add more features. Now is only highest elo. Add more weights like... The thing is, if you add more weights and you make it more complicated, then it becomes harder to track and a bit less interesting as a fan, I think. Because now it's just one simple number you look at. If you do stuff like games played or win streak and more features, yeah, maybe maybe that works, but I think it also becomes harder to follow. I mean, maybe it makes it more interesting if there's more things to discuss or more complications. At the very least, highest elo is a clear and single number indicator. Tina, how do you make this map? No, as I said, this was originally a map by the Mad Catter, and we decided to add it to the map pool, so I made some adjustments to it. Like head-to-head after the tiebreaker. I do like the show match as a tiebreaker. I think it's nice to have that early on in the list of tiebreakers. So, galley opening from target. I've not seen the map played before, and we have a forward dock approach with a defensive fire galley now from Babaroom. And, ooh, sniping the scout, but target will take some damage on the galley. It is faster than the fire galley, so it can run away and run back to a repairville. But if you're going galleys, you need to get a good 2 to 3 galleys out. And it will force Loom from Babaroom, who doesn't want to lose a villager to a galley. Imagine a demo, though, on the Oystervilles. So the map does have 4 oysters by the docks and also some shorefish. So getting a good dock location here between oysters and shorefish is pretty critical. And making sure that you have your scout scout that area, which you will do because the boar and sheep are out there anyway. To find your dock spot is an important part of the early gameplay. We also balance the fish somewhat, so every player should have some decent deep fish access, but the deep fish are pretty far away from the docks. And you have to make sure that you're doing what Target does, and you just saw him taking the shorefish with the fishing ships. You have to move them out to the deep fish, where the fishing ships are more efficient. Is a handbook reading stream? Maybe we should have done that. Yeah, so ships coming forward, and target will try to keep the vills away from the house. Handbook audiobook read out. And now defensive galleys here from Babaroom, as he will be trying to get his fires forward. Doesn't have a forward dock, so he has to sail around the outside. But Castle Age on the way for target. Castle Age coming in. And the galleys here will start to go down. Quiz on the handbook during signups. Oh my gosh, we should totally do that next tournament. We'll make a quiz on the handbook, and we'll challenge players to do it, and we'll do a video. A video quiz. Oh, that would be peak. That would be absolutely peak content there. yeah. Masmora hosts the handbook reading challenge. If we do that, we'll never have any players except yeah, Vinch is always well prepared. You gotta hand that to Vinch. So, fishing ships go down. And the galleys go down too. What happened with the water changes? The water changes were a beta that was only for the Thalassocracy Cup. They are, I believe, going to be part of the DLC that's released next month. Or not a part of the DLC so much as released at the same time as the DLC for everyone. But they are currently not present in TTL. By the end of TTL, that DLC will have been released, and those games will use those changes. I'm hoping that the maps don't break because of them. How many maps are in the event? That's a good one. So, War Galley on the way for target. Fire ships push forward. They'll take the galleys, more fire ships. So fire ship defense from target. And Babaroom had sent a Vil forward to the middle of the map, maybe thinking of doing a fortified church, but scouts from target pick off the Vil. So we have a stable from target, and more just houses for Babaroom. Wasn't adding in anything else. Castle Age on the way. Okay, he was just thinking of houses for vision then. Does he have Town Watch? No Town Watch then. Okay, just wanted houses up and down the middle of the map? Alright, must have been thinking of an eventual Town Watch then. So there are 5 relics, but all 5 relics are in the middle. Oh, that's a good idea. Ask each league the same quiz questions and see who does the best. Okay, oh, we need a demo. Target, where's the demo? Give us a demo on those galleys. So there we have Babaroom up to the Castle Age. And another fire galley coming over. I'll take out the fire. And Vils by the mill going down. Gotta be careful with those berries on the coast. Berries will always be towards the coast on this map. So Babaroom's still defending. And I honestly have no idea who's winning this game. And maybe it's even? I don't know how to judge water control versus middle control, but it does feel like target has the middle control now and we'll be picking up his first relic. Quizmaster Arbase. How many town centers are on the map on Dark Age? Oh my gosh, that would have been perfect for Stronghold Frenzy for that map where you could build multiple TCs in the Dark Age. So, scouts here hitting the houses. Babaroom really wanted the houses for vision, but they really don't give you vision if you're not committing to Town Watch. +4 line of sight, and houses become decent outposts. If you're not doing town watch, then you only have 1 tile of vision around the houses. Yeah, I am kind of surprised at that 0 forward pressure so far. Well, I guess the forward pressure was stymied by the light cav, right? If Bob Room had been thinking about going forward. So he will be doing a warrior priest to grab relics. Check. Great. My phone decided just now it would tell me I logged into Twitch on OBS. Thank you, email alerts. Alright, let's read the handbook and immediately forget the important parts. That's why we have a quiz. That's why we have a quiz. I haven't seen the Vitality intro video. Do they have an epic intro video we should go watch? I'll watch that off stream. I'll watch that off stream in case they have music in it. Thank you, Tofine, for the follow. So, Bob Room feels like he has the forward water control and all the water control at this point. But there aren't too many fish on the map. You have to keep docking around the outside for more fish. And I do wonder if maybe the middle control matters more. Looks like the scouts here from Target able to snipe off some of the warrior priests. But they will start picking up relics, and that will be a total of 4 relics for Bob Room. So 4-2 in favor of our green player as he goes to add a TC on the outside. Okay, he'll be TCing the wood and the berries. Interesting. I haven't really seen berry TCs that much. It's epic and kind of cringe. Sounds like exactly what I would expect. And war galleys may be getting fended off by a fire ship or 2, but only 1 dock. Target will look to redock and regain water control. He actually is up 52 to 44 vills, though. And that's... See, no one has fishing ships left, so he does have a good Vil advantage. With his second TC, he got his boom going faster. And TC going up from Bob-a-Room. Okay, I'm liking this map already. I have no idea who's winning. Where Bob-a-Room has water and relics, but Target has more Vils added in. And will be mining enough stone with the Italians, he can go imp rather quickly and start trebbing. So Coast Arena Game 1, water map. Target did play it with a forward dock at the start. So he will be adding more docks around the outside, trying to get more control out there. And, ooh, nice demo. Nice demo. And he'll bring more fires from the side, and should be able to clear this. Those war galleys are all very low HP. And all of a sudden, Target now has water control again. He's even forward. But that gets fended off. So more Vils for Target, more relics for Bob-a-Room. And Bob-a-Room will now add in a workshop along with the warrior priest he has in the middle of the map. He thought Target would be going for an arena approach. Target did pretty well in Thalassocracy Cup in 2024. Oh, the old Thalassocracy. F1 warrior priest racing? Oh, because I nerfed the siege towers? Yeah, that's true. Only... Let's see. Inside of a siege tower, they will be faster now, but if they had squires, it wouldn't really be a difference, I think. So scale mill armor on the way for Bob-a-Room. 1 relic equals 1 gold fill? Just about. Just about. I remember the old Zero Empires video that I watched in 2012 was 5 relics is 6 fills on gold. And I've never questioned that stat, so I hope it's correct. Our siege tower is still a thing in TTL. So siege towers are allowed, but I nerfed them in the map script. So we'll click on this one here. It has 175 HP instead of 220, and it has a max garrison capacity of 5 instead of 10. So here is its max speed of 1.05, which is slower than a longswordsman with squires. And it will be used for its intended purpose for hopping a wall. What is this? A siege tower used for hopping a wall? What? What? What is this? Oh my gosh, I've never seen this before. It's been... How long? Have I ever seen it used for hopping a wall? Like legit, and not just for a meme strat? That worked. He got a Vil from it. He'll see the castle going up. I did that to you once to boost. Yeah, it's not a tournament game though. I don't want to say Twist versus Dabooz in a community game isn't important, but I will say this is a very official use of a siege tower done properly. Oh, nice quick walls from target. But gates don't have much HP. The warrior priest will run through. And there's the castle with some Genoese crossbowmen trained, so the warrior priest will keep running around. Minus 100 elo. Is it going to break the maps once Siege Tower gets patched? We accounted for that in the map scripts, and I am hoping the answer to that question is no. So, some Vills dying to the warrior priests? Babaru clowning with the siege tower, and it's working. It's working as intended. Although, to be fair, in that first game we saw between Deeker and Bad Koala, there was some unintended siege tower taxi usage. But I don't think it was actually that advantageous, because the siege tower was still slower than the Gen swordsman it was carting around. Yeah. Our hope will be that the patch nerfs the siege towers in an appropriate way, and we simply can use that patch rather than continuing to have a change in the map scripts, but we will make an official decision when we have more information and see what the official patch is. Who would have thought something working as intended in AoE? I know. Oh, he's going for it again. He's got another warrior priest in that siege tower. Also has a mangonel out. So target the first one up to imp, and now time to start adding trebs. Genoese crossbowmen on their way forward, and the Italians with what's it called? With pyrotechnia. Hand cannoneers become scorpions. They do pass-through damage. That could be a pretty good counter to the Ferreters infantry. And we'll see, is this used now as a siege tower or as a taxi? Oh, let's see, they ungarrison and chase after the Genbos. They still need squires. Oh, target stops microing for a moment. But he will get within the min-range of the mangonel and be able to shoot that down. Staying in the min-range. And going for the forward castle is target. Defensive castle and imp on the way for Babaroom. Oh, is the siege tower going to block the castle? The siege tower can scout the Vills, and target thinking maybe let's go even more forward with the castle. There he goes. Oh, the Genbo is going to block the castle chasing the siege tower. That's what the siege tower does, make your own units block your castle. And the Treb is there. Treb immediately going for the fortified church. He does see the castle. And as he gets more trebs, he can go for it. With chemistry on the way, he can add in workshops and cannon. They will be discounted cannon for the Italians, but no option for siege engineers for them. Okay, siege tower will eventually go down to the Genbos. They don't specialize in destroying siege towers, but it does go down. 45 fewer crossbow bolts than it would have taken with 220 pop. Oh, the wonderful, that's one of my favorite things. When your monastery is too weak to hold the relics, your monks still can put them in the monastery, but they pop out immediately. It's not like Vil's trying to get into TC and it's filled and they don't fit. It goes in and out. I love that. Alright, so still looking for more trebs or some cannon from target. Babaroom trying to do TCs around the middle, and ballistics on the way from the university. And Babaroom 10 Vil advantage, and it feels like he does have the water, but fast fire in for target. Needing to invest into fast fire though, even with the Italians, that's still kind of expensive. What's their dock discount? Minus 33%, so still will slow down your eco chain, your eco for the middle. Treb's going for the castle. There we have Imp for Babaroom. But will that castle stand? It's only castle now. And when he loses it, he'll probably drop down and score, and I think that's a win. Yes, down it goes. We can admire the destruction of that Armenian castle. as it crumbles and now leaves the TC exposed. That's 2 exposed TCs as target continues to move forward for another castle in front of the stone. Treb's going for the TC. Hello, Turs. And skirms against Genbos now, so we can see siege towers used as intended, but also we see skirms. We can't avoid the skirms. At this rate, he's gonna run out of gold. No, that's right. He still has oysters in the back, actually. He has like 1,000 gold almost of oysters. Oh, he's going for a forward castle though. He's saying there's gold down here. There's gold that target's taking in his base. Let's castle that. Target does see that. And with 2 workshops and cannon and 3 castles for Trebs, does this castle actually stand for that long? I don't know, and it feels like all Babaroom can do at this point is skirmishers, and he's losing all the map control to the Italian siege. What do Armenians have for their own siege? They don't have bombard cannon. They don't have siege ram. They don't have siege engineers. Oh gosh, their siege line is awful. It's even worse than the Magyars. No siege engineers. What is his win condition here? I actually don't know. I think target has this now. He sees the castle with the cannon, and the Italians getting imp faster has worked out. Even with the 4-2 relics, Babaroom doesn't have the map control or army to fight this. What does he do now? Chemistry on the way. He's going to need to swap into something other than skirms to fight under the castles. Only infantry civ with bad siege. Are the skirms gonna stop this? I mean, target doesn't really have anything against skirms at the moment, but that doesn't really matter. He can simply run the cannons away. And the Trebs and the cannon destroy that castle. That also will crumble. That Vil says, I don't care if you're falling, I have a job to do. I'm walking through that rubble anyway. And chemistry on the way from Babaroom. 1 Treb goes down to some warrior priests. This thing still, I feel like they still need squires. 10% faster. So that's another 8.5 speed to them. Some condottieri would be fun. I mean, they'd be fun. I don't know if they'd be necessary. They'd be fun. They're always fun. Couple of fortified churches going up, but losing that castle, I don't think he has a way to pressure target anymore. And we now have a cannon galleon for target, ready to pressure inland, and maybe cause some pressure on the walls over here. Goes for the house. Okay, this has been an incredibly interesting map so far. Maybe we need more water on the outside of clown maps. I've really liked this. Oh my gosh, everything going down to the skirms. And Babaroom relying on skirms at this point. But in this Civ matchup, seems like the Italians are a strong favorite. They have tracking. Tracking is free and instant now in feudal. Have all infantry get tracking. I don't think there was a Civ that missed tracking. Well, I don't think there is anyone who actually researched it in the original game. Maybe there was, like, late game. So skirm's going down to cannon fire. Cannon goes down. And we have your 8 cannon coming forward. Some going for the Treb. And cannon going for the Treb. Treb goes down. More condottieri come over. But I don't think there's much left for Babaroom to do against all those cannon. Target selling wood. Don't think you even got tracking campaigns. Does Green know it's GG? Green's maybe holding out hope. Right, this is probably one of the first competitive games that Babaroom's actually played on the map. So he's probably just holding out to experiment a bit. see how the late game plays out, but well done from Target. Target, I know he practiced the map because he messaged me bug reports on it and shows that the practice paid off with his map pick. Same for Bob Room. I know he was practicing because he posted some bug reports or some questions about which maps were registered or not, so I know he was looking at all the maps. But well done for Target. Definitely well prepared. And back and forth game. There were times Bob Room had the relics, felt like he had the water control. Italians, though, a good Civ matchup and good drafting from Target to have them available. And thank you, Jersey Durs, for the follow. So, GG. And let's look at the stats here. And that's 209 to 142 kills. See, Bob Room had 2 conversions. Better eco for Target. And yeah, 5-minute better imp timing. Italians, OP. Wonderful. And that's 2 to 1 for Target. So congrats to Target. So hyped for Silver League? I am too. And I'm so hyped I'm going to keep casting Silver Leagues. I think we have more Rex to cast. Let me look at this, actually. Let me take a minute and investigate. Need to remove... I need to change the overlay thing in the stats. I know. I need to set that up. I had that set up specifically with Red Bull logos, though. It's not Red Bull anymore. Alright. So, where are we at for TTL? So, we will have... So, in 5 hours, Ozone versus Survivalist, and then in 19 hours, Husiel versus Gabby. So, I will cast Survivalist live. Maybe we gotta fill time before that somehow. But we do have some more Rex that were played already in TTL. We do have Dennis versus Nahue. Dennis versus Nahue. So let me download these Recs. For completeness, I will just arbitrarily download them all from Dennis's point of view. And make sure that I have all of them. Place them in my saved game folder and get ready for one more set of TTL. And I don't think this will take us 5 hours, but at least we won't need to speed through the Dark Age at all, like in that previous set. Elite 2 Toxtonic Chicken. Oh, the wings. Yeah, so again, we have our sub goal. We need 19 more subs, and we'll have the chicken costume. Oh, I can show that off. Yeah, we already did the Teutonic Knight. I don't know where the top of this is. There we go. You have a wonderful chicken outfit. Even the pocket has like a cute little like baby chicken inside of it. Yeah, our race, it's AoE appropriate. That's why we do it. Anyway, next set of games here. Let's see, there's also a draft for it. Where can I find this draft? I'll just put the drafts over on one monitor. And show the drafts over here. Great. So, for this set, we will have Monocle as game 1. And ooh, yay, we get to see Valley. Valley, I made a lot of changes to. I want to see that play out. Then High Tides. So High Tides, Valley, and Monocle. And for the civs, we'll have Romans as the #1 pick for Norway. Also Lithuanians, Georgians, Jurchens, and Vietnamese. So Jurchens, maybe we'll see some Fire Lancers. For Dennis, we have Italians, Dravidians, Sicilians, Inca, and Byzantines. Those are some hybrid civs there. Sup Plasma Egg Product. TTL already started. Yes, it did. That's why we're casting. Because I'm sure people were all hyped up with Red Bull. And let's see, game 1 on a Monocle. Here we go. No closed maps. We have like maybe 5 maps that could be considered closed in the map pool. So I think we'll be content with enough closed maps this season, I hope. What is this and why is it not a Korean mirror? Oh my gosh, what game is this? Is this Age of Empires 2 in 2026? Oh, John Slow, thank you very much for the raid. Oh, you just missed Coast Arena with circle walls. Oh, you just missed it. These players aren't clowning as much. There's a good chance we're casting Survivalist later tonight. He might clown, though. But thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you for sending the intellectuals over here. And we'll have Dennis as the blue Dravidians to the west and Navwe as the yellow Romans to the east. And this is Monocle. We saw this in the set between Deeker and Bad Koala, where we had Armenian longswords and feudal against a Korean, basically impromptu Phosphoro after taking longsword damage into war wagons. That was a crazy game. And one of the changes I made, pretty much the only change, was I made the wood lines a bit more spaced out in the middle, so it's easier to walk through the middle. And I also ensured the fish were distributed a bit more fairly than in the past. So this hasn't been used in a tournament for a long time, but we dug it out. It's an old Trzini map. I made a couple of small modifications to it, and I'm excited to see more games on it, because that first game was amazing. Should be able to build seawalls. I am glad they can't. I think it would be crazy to wall off islands. You could do that in the Realms mod. You could wall with fishing ships, but I think water is best not to have that. Like this map pool a lot more than the previous season. A lot of closed maps. Hopefully people pick more unique maps to give variety. Yeah. The previous season, I think we had the problem that we added the fish to Acropolis and created a hybrid map out of what should have been an open land map. And with lots of other hybrid maps in the map pool, we had a lot of repetitive fire galley wars for small ponds into snowball-y situations. I think this map pool will be better. It's nice to see Dark Age again. I know, I'm like, we gotta kill 5 hours until Survival is set, so I'm not even gonna fast forward this. I'm just gonna leave this here, and we will enjoy the luxury of a long Dark Age. You're not counting on that? I know, our luck, someone's gonna dock these ponds and make fire galleys. They'll fish the shorefish, build a dock, and then I guess you can probably sail around here, actually, now that I think about it. Right, because this is just beach terrain. Arbase, do I have to fix this map? Are we legit gonna have ships in these ponds? I love the fishing net animation. Thank you, Remos, for the follow. You're number 14,797, so we're almost at 15k followers. Thank you very much. Well, longboats. I haven't tested. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Because we made it so you couldn't dock on Valley, because we didn't want to have just fire galley mirrors on Valley. But now that I think about it, some of these are medium water, so you can't actually dock them. You can only dock the shallow water ones. I just did that for variety, but maybe I need to go medium and deep. Thank you, God's Beard, for the follow. I've never seen Dat with a beard, but thank you for the follow. Sup, Nick at Night. Oh, I watched that when I was a kid. Nick at Night. Make it different colors of water. Yellow, green, brown. Oh, should I randomize the water even more? That would look really ugly. Lava pond. This isn't Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. No lava ponds, our base. So what are we going to do? Dravidians, Romans. Is this a Men-at-Arms Skirms matchup? So Romans are picked on this map because they have the 5% faster everything bonus, and they're currently the only civ that collects faster from the shorefish. Dravidians do have a bonus that they carry plus 15, but since the shorefish are so close to the mill, I don't think that affects them too much. It would help them if they go out here and maybe don't want to keep building extra mills. I imagine we'll also see the Japanese on this map quite a bit for the cheaper mills and then men-at-arms in the middle. So similar to the Romans. Luns, hello again, Garlic Witch. So up when you, that's so annoying when you want to go up and the vills are carrying extra fish. Yeah, that's a good point. So maybe similar to the old Aztecs plus 5 carry capacity bonus. Well, they still have plus 3, but you need to force drop more from the TC. And back before that force drop hotkey, it was a bit more annoying, especially when they carried even more. So pushed off of the fish from the Dravidian men-at-arms, we have Dennis, annoying Nahue here. Dennis going to destroy the mill, perhaps. We'll also have the men-at-arms upgrade from Nahue. But where are his men-at-arms? He doesn't have any. Well, why is he doing men-at-arms without any militia? He's just doing it to have it. Okay. He's upgrading to men-at-arms before queuing any. There's no, like, eco bonus for that. Like, the Goths want to wait past the Dark Age. Okay. I think that they can cross from pool to pool. Yes. Some they can't because the actual land goes between them. But for the beach terrain, they can. So yeah, if we ever see a demo on this map, I'd love to see that. Didn't the Hindustanis have a bonus? They did when they were the Indians, back before the dynasties of India. Yes. So now that you mention it, we could see a fish boom here like I do on African Clearing. Yeah, I'd have to sail. I don't actually know if you can dock with only one tile, though, and the rest is beach. Maybe you can't? Maybe you actually can't dock there. I don't know if you can. What is TTL 5? This is Season 5 of T90 Titans League. There are leagues of bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, where players are grouped together roughly based on skill level. And the intention is to give players of different skills some competitive tournaments while also still having a goal to reach the top of Platinum League and face the likes of Hera, Leary, Viper, Yo, Vinch, Tato, ACCM, that type of thing. The Men-at-Arm dock map is African River. So that scout getting... Oh, not getting trapped. Can run out. Skirm's coming forward on the wood line. Hitting the vills. The Tur's saying he just doesn't think he can dock. Okay. Well, Turs, remember that some of these are medium water and some are shallow water? You wouldn't be able to dock on the medium water. Unless these are medium and deep, and I'm wrong about that. I forget which waters I used. So this is a good skirm fight on the wood line. Wood lines are very small, and you can easily harass them with ranged units or towers in feudal. But there are a lot of wood lines, so you should have options to flee and move your lumber camp around. Yeah, but not being on fish versus someone who is on shorefish, oh, that is horrible. Especially as the Romans, you really want to be using your faster fish gathering. And this map may be analogous to Dune Springs in the aggression of men-at-arms, even though it's set up a bit differently. Sometimes you can build mills in between fish and sometimes not. Like this. There should always be places for it scattered, but yeah, you might have an area like this that you can't do it. Yeah, that is a good point. I wonder if I could actually separate these by, like, force the two sides to be one more tile apart. I'll think about whether I can make a change like that. Yeah, that would have been good to have picked up on earlier, though. You're right, we did try to make this 2 fish everywhere, so you don't have strands of only 1 fish. But that does maybe tighten it a bit. So I could maybe try to adjust some stuff slightly. So fletching on the way for Dennis.
என்ன கட்டளை?
Yeah, because here we have another big area here where you probably can't build. There are a couple like that. Yeah, but yeah, maybe over here is a situation where Dennis had to go to the outside for the mill. But I mean, is walking 2 extra tiles for the fish really that inefficient? Well, not if you're Dravidians. But yeah, I can definitely see that being a bit annoying. Make the fish into oysters? You know, that wasn't an option when the map was first created, so maybe that could be some type of different map. It's like Treasure Hill with oysters up here. So the skirms hitting the men-at-arms, men-at-arms running away, getting sniped by the skirms. Yeah, just a bit annoying. Yeah, I definitely can see that. Yeah, I think there's probably room to adjust some terrain slightly. That's a good bit of feedback. I'll write that down on my list. Call the version with oysters gold monocle. That'd be like your super rich evil villain who affords a gold monocle. If I push them to the outside, I have them split into 2 halves when they generate, so some on the inside, some on the outside. But I might be able to restrict the size of those halves and have more on the inside and more on the outside, so there's a more clear path down the middle. I'll need to experiment though. Yeah, he messed up his wood line with that range, with the second one. Where's Dennis? Yeah, with that second range right there. He can't access that wood line, and he chopped his first one, so he couldn't move it out. If the range had been here, he'd still be walled, and could access the second wood line. So men-at-arms coming in. 7 men-at-arms, but Castle Age almost on the way for Dennis. And those men-at-arms taking some TC fire. So not where Nahue wants to be running with them. At the same time, he's losing some more men-at-arms on the other side, as Dennis is just about up to the Castle Age with skirms and archers. Men-at-arms going down. And there is a GG from Nahue as he sees Dennis up to the Castle Age. So I'll remember the scoreboard now. And I think what we see, not even a big difference in res collected, but when pushed off of the shorefish, the Roman player wasn't able to get the eco to the right setup to go to the Castle Age. Adding in lots of archers that cost wood and gold versus the men-at-arms that cost food feels a bit cheaper for Dennis. Especially with all the wood he has as the Dravidians. So we'll have a better setup there from Dennis. Better eco. And well done for him. Yep, Castle Age GG, indeed. And then we'll have game 2 coming up. Just click there. Game 2 into Capture Age. And here we go, and it will be high tides again. So Dennis will be to the west as the blue Italians, Nahue to the east as the yellow Lithuanians. We already saw a game on this map where the Lithuanian player went straight to the trees to chop wood and had a very early dock in their build. So the coastline kind of angles up a tiny bit over here. Getting this coastline to be 100% consistent was really annoying. I improved it from the previous version of the map, but it's still not as great as I'd like it. And when I say it's not great, I mean it's like 3 tiles more north than I'd like it with how it bends, but still kind of annoying. Shorefish here. And deep fish pretty spread evenly around the middle. Looks like it's 4x3 gold in the south, which is what it should be. Okay, all of them have 4 golds. This is what I was saying, though. This one feels maybe slightly unfair with a gold over here. That's not analogously over here, but I mean, it's neutral gold, so I don't think it really matters. But yeah. I wonder if there's that left side spawn bias that some of the old maps had. I'll have to check how I spawned them down there. I used actor areas or land generation. There are weird things in map scripts where sometimes stuff prefers spawning on the left, or where things are placed by the right tile, so sometimes things are off by a tile. It's kind of annoying. Thank you, Vix AoE, for the follow. You don't need everything to be exactly balanced. Okay, yeah. No, it depends on people's opinions. I look at this and say, that's fine, but I could also understand someone who looks at it and says, it's annoying. There's like 3 in the middle, and then 1 for one player that's not balanced. But I'm fine with this because it's neutral, and by the time you walk all the way down here, walking 10 more tiles, it isn't really that big of a deal. So I think it's fine because it's neutral, I think. Anyway, do we have a dock yet to the north? How quickly players dock will be an issue on this map, and now we have Dennis sending the Vil out. Also, you have options. You can go for the center island to try to get a forward dock very far forward onto the fish in the sea and dock that shorefish on the edge of the island. The other option is to walk over to the shallows, put a dock on the shallows where you're closer, potentially safer because it's farther from your opponent, but then you'll have fewer fish. Although that might not matter if you then go for a second dock in the middle. And hello, brachiopods for the people. Well, thank you for watching this. Is there mining and fighting in the bottom? There can be in the late game. Do people take the shorefish? They take them up here. Do they take them down here? In the past, I haven't seen that too much. We do have some hunt and shorefish down here. Let's see, we did this before the days of chickens, where you can mill here and take the shorefish in the hunt. You could dock here. But no one ever goes there at the start. It's always docks at the top where there are deep fish. Am I planning to cover Silverleaf? Yep, I plan to cover as much of TTL as I can. I'm extra interested in it because I did the map scripting and want to pay attention so I know if there are any map bugs. Interesting dock position for Nawe. Yeah, and this is what I was saying. You can dock the shallows, and especially if you scout that you didn't get to the middle first, sometimes not going for a Vil fight here is nice. And Rai Malky, thank you for the follow. Yeah, Silver League is great because we're going to have... It's not at the super top level, so you can tell when players make mistakes. And you can tell that... You can tell the differences in the gameplay, that it's not quite as perfected. But it's fun to do that because they are still incredibly good players. And now that you mentioned that, I should put their elos in the overlay. Let me go double check their elos. Hold on. So Dennis is... 25 right now. Hold on, let me swap my scene. Let me pause and swap the scene just so I don't accidentally show that in Capture Age. How many wrecks? Well, I guess there's 3 wrecks. The number of wrecks isn't gonna spoil it. I always get paranoid about showing wrecks in Capture Age though. So that's 25 for Dennis, and for Nawe, that is 23:53. All right, there we go. Yep, all the maps are the same for all of them. And we do have 15 maps this time. Last season we had, I think, 11 maps, and it got a bit repetitive, but I did more map scripting this time, and now we have 15. And I was saying before, I am, I think, very happy with the way this pool of maps turned out. And I am hoping that we don't have to make changes to them during the season, that we've worked the bugs out. Do I have a favorite map so far? Coast Arena. I loved scripting that, and the game we saw so far was amazing, so. Hello, Goldfish Cola 1. Let me get my YouTube chat back. Gold Monocle, yep. Let's see, Feudal Age on the way for both. Gold Monocle would be a much better name than Golden Stream, anyway.
Awesome.
Anyway, Ostrich getting pushed in. In Venice Pest at some point. I haven't played that in a long time. Or I think that was in... I've casted 1v1s on that before, I have. I was thinking of it from Terra Nova Duos, but I realized I remember there was a Viper Byzantines game where he didn't resign for like 2 hours. So there's Dennis. He has advanced to the Feudal Age. There we go, we can translate that. And he's adding in some bills. Golden Stream sure is a name. Skirms will be banned. Only Siege Towers and Fire Lancers will be allowed. Like Seychelles? It's a very beautiful map. I gotta give Death Counter credit for doing some great things with the terrains. Ooh, we get some sheep laming, some goat laming. Some doubts being stolen from the TC. And we'll have some militia running around for Nahue. And it all goes down. Palisade will go down to the men-at-arms, but will that be open then? I guess that's open. And Dennis desperately repairing, but Arson will come in for the men-at-arms. The men-at-arms have a hill bonus with Arson. I think Dennis needs to send a second Vil to repair. On the water we have fire ships from Dennis against Nahue's fish. But with those men-at-arms now, with Arson, break the palisade. 2 Vils have to repair. That's a lot of wood and Vil time invested in repairing. And everything else is small. Oh, the gold's not actually walled. And will Dennis pay attention to that Vil? The scout got the first hit from the inside. That first forced her to run to the outside. And she will go back to the TC. Garrison enough to keep the scout away. Lots of HP. Oh, the scout goes down to the TC. That is not something that you want. You do not want scouts dying like that. Extra greed going for the Vil and gets punished for it. Which brachiopods are present in the Seychelles? That I do not know. I'll let brachiopods for the people answer that question for us. So Archer out for Dennis, but at the same time as an Archer comes forward for Nahue. And we'll have an Archer fight down here. Man-at-Arms chasing the Archer back to the TC. Man-at-Arms takes some arrow fire. This is one map I'm worried about if we get the new water patch. I agree with you, Arbase. I'm not sure how that will play out because it feels like it'll just be hulks and hulks and hulks. We'll have to see what they do with demos. I still don't know how effective demos are going to be, but with how many compounding nerfs they added to them for Thalassocracy, I'm worried that instead of Hulk and demo, we just get demo. I do kind of wish we could go back to the AOC days of Galley Micro. I think that requires much more attention and makes the map harder to play if you have to micro galleys and not fires, while also going archers and men-at-arms. Archers chase the men-at-arms away. Really never liked the addition of fire ships. I didn't quite either. And finally, this woodline getting pushed by archers. So with the archer addition, Vils can't rely on walling against the men-at-arms. Blacksmith goes up for Dennis, and the archers continue picking Vils, but have to run away. High marine biology levels in the chat at the moment. That's why I love Twitch chat. You have people who are knowledgeable about many different subjects. That's why Arbase is a good admin, banning the fire valleys. So far, so good in the defense, I think? 4-3 KD, but I guess that's a Vil advantage. 35 to 28 Vils for Nahue. But there are some fishing ships still on the water that Dennis has won now, destroying Nahue's dock. That will continue collecting the rest of the fish. And there aren't too many fish on this map, but it will give him a nice advantage in recovering from the Vil losses. Any other units we don't like? Personally, never loved the galley meta. I think the thing about galleys is that they were a lot of fun to play. And Galley Micro is one of the smoothest and most fun things you could do in AoE 2. But it did get very snowbally, and it wasn't that much fun to watch, but I think the exact same thing is said about the Fire Galley meta. And even the same thing, perhaps even more so, about snowballing with the Hulks. So, market on the way up for Nahue, as another Vil walks over to build it. And a couple of skirms and an archer out here hitting Vils by the lumber camp. As a Celt lover, I hate those. Let's ban those. And good archer mass here. Looks like neither player anywhere close to going up, although maybe Dennis could buy his way up with a market. I think he's going to be pushed off the berries, though. And won't lose too many vills, only one. Oh, but the house wall doesn't go up. The house wall doesn't go up. Ooh, had that gone up, he'd be okay, but without that, he's going to lose at least 2 more vills. Down they go. And the archer is still going to pick off a 3rd vill, and now things are looking rough for Dennis. That's 29 to 41 villagers, and 5 fishing ships won't make up that difference. Not at all. And the archers keep on pouring in. That's a weak vill building the house. That's another vill down. The archers could dare the TC fire to get to the other side of that house, but they'll try to keep the skirm numbers down too. I'm not sure that we can mix that, we can reach that. The problem is the mix never has worked for galleys on the small maps. And I still, even after the changes, I don't think it will either. Now it's fires and demos. I think it becomes either just hulks or hulks and demos. Celt SO. Celt SO still don't like bombard cannons. So is there a counterattack? There is a counterattack. A couple of archers do get onto the wood line from Dennis, but he will mostly be walled up. So it's a 10 to 5 KD, still 41 to 31 vills. And I think there needs to be a house here. That's a weak villager. Ooh, Dennis, will he dare this? Will he dare this? A gate needs to go up right there. And, ooh, if this... Another yellow player who doesn't do the Viper-esque gate. The vills could maybe fight that as some archers come over. Yeah, it's a combo vill plus archer fight. And now they definitely need to get walled in. Don't want to let those escape. So HP vill might need to be pulled back. And with the hill bonus, archers kill a vill. A nice house there. Okay, there you go. Finally some quick walling. Archer here. Oh, look at that micro. Look at that 1 archer versus 4. But he does go down. Skirm comes over, though. And with the low HP there, the Skirm should clean that up. Castle H is on the way first for Nagwe. And we'll have Dennis a little over a minute behind. And yeah, I mean, 1 more house, a bit more walling, and I think that he'd be safe from this. So like I said, 2K3 to 2K5, some very slight differences that I think at a higher level, you'd see that would be walled out. Whether it's a quick wall or a preemptive wall, I don't think that gets in, or at least not as consistently. How did the tie work out? It worked out that they will play a show match at some point in the coming days. You know, I'm guessing it'll be a single game to determine the final spot. Let me see. Here's admin for Red Bull. That is Drazini. For TTL, one of them will be our base. So if you have TTL questions, tag him in the chat and make him answer. Yeah, both ban a map, pick one, and then ban to get down to 3 maps, and it's chosen randomly from among those maps. So forward workshop now for Nagwe. We'll have Bodkin Arrow on the way for him, and crossbows coming in, killing vills that were walling from Dennis. And Dennis Elite Skirm trying to market wall, but those vills still will be exposed. That market 158 HP. Can the crossbows destroy that? They will just dive. They will dive. Another market and a house. The knight could maybe destroy this market, though. Knight will tank some TC fire as a brave knight and a dead vill. And he failed quick walls. Yeah, whatever, the tiebreak will never happen anyway. I imagine they said exactly that. Although, what I learned from cartographers was you had to be prepared. It was, I think, Lix's team and Niaz's team that we had this complicated formula for determining the team rankings, and then they had the exact same ranking, and Niaz messaged me, like, what's the tiebreaker? And I'm like, oh crap, we didn't come up with a tiebreaker. So I messaged Nerfox, and thankfully, all he needed to do was add a couple more decimal points to the spreadsheet, because the teams were within 1/10 of a point of each other, and we needed 2 decimal points to show the difference between them. A nice mangonel shot on the skirms there. Nice mangonel shot. What if we add more decimal points to elos are integers? There are no decimal points to it. That would not help the Red Bull situation. And ooh, okay. Mangonel hitting skirms. Well, I suppose you could have a decimal point elo, no problem. But the way it's calculated is as an integer for DE. And Grand Vidal 96, thank you for the follow. Oh, we were past 14.8k. We were closing in on 15k. 200 more followers, so there's a chance we hit it by the end of the month if I stream a lot. We've been getting some pretty good viewer numbers from Red Bull. Elo tied to Civ? I think Elo tied to map makes more sense than tied to Civ. You don't really have players maining civs, you have players picking different civs for different maps. Was he getting fractions of elo? That shouldn't be a thing. And thank you, Asora510 for the follow. So yeah, a couple of good mangonel shots, and well, if he can get more mangonel shots, I think he'll win. So 53 to 40 actual villagers, 6 fishing ships, but not really mattering at this point. I do like the fact that we have a match where the player who won the water also seems to be a bit behind. That does tend to happen on this map, and I think a lot more so than some of the other TTL maps is, ooh, that mangonel shot somehow missed everything. Oh no, he ran backwards into another mangonel. That's a nice shot there. The knight comes and closes the distance on the skirm. Some more knights coming around from the other side. As the mangonels move forward, skirms are sniped off, the knight runs away, no ballistics to hit it as it flees and looks for a monk to heal. Bloodline's on the way, and one knight will chase down all of these injured units. It would have been 0 if he didn't get any. Yes, if he faced people who were too low. And the mangonel hits the crossbows. They all go down. So mangonel hits the crossbows, they go down. And ballistics on the way at the university for Dennis. What is it? What is the question, Arbase? So crossbows go down. Dennis still down Dennis still up in score to Nahue, but I feel like Nahue's still in a better position. He's so many more extra vills and is getting his next TC. The Noble Apartment Cup draft? Oh, the Noble Apartment Cup draft was like a mixture. They did the random bans, but they did the bans before the map draft. So players had to jump back and forth between the Civ and map drafts. And XC1907, thank you for the follow. It sounds nightmarish. I mean, it does kind of make sense if the bans are going to be random that maybe you want to pick maps after seeing the bans. But it also is, as you said, kind of a hassle to jump back and forth. For the LAN environment, where the players are physically in the same room with the admins, it's probably easier than for an online tournament, where I am absolutely certain we'd have problems of players not knowing the format properly. Yep, Yo can still qualify. He wasn't disqualified from the tournament. He just lost 100 elo, which puts him at seed, I think it was 14 instead of 6. So instead of needing to win one set, he has to go through the entire qualifier. Which is, and honestly, I don't know how he's going to be seeded there, but kind of unfair for people who now have to get a worse matchup against Yo than they would have had otherwise. Like, they'll face Yo earlier than they should have. So, TC going down 5 HP, finish it off. Nah, wait, 5 HP. Mangoneling the Knights, trying to keep the Mangonels alive, but didn't destroy the TC, and it would be repaired now. Dennis keeping the TC alive on 5 hit points. And he'll repair it, and he'll be able to garrison again. Oh, Nahue missed a golden opportunity to destroy the TC. weird to have a rule that only applies for 2 days. I agree, and I also think that there definitely needs to be very, very loud communication from admins about that when that rule comes into effect. I don't know what type of channels players have that I don't see. I don't know how tagging the players worked. Maybe that was done. But I do agree that there should definitely be very, very strong reminders to players of that for the last 2 days. You should do announcements in caps lock? No, but I mean, you should be very proactive in going to players and specifically telling them, especially streaming players, about the restrictions. Right, because you'll see players who are streaming at the top, and as a host, you have a vested interest in making sure that your event runs smoothly, and making sure that the players know your rules. And if it's... Now, it's one thing to say, oh, it's in the handbook, or it's one thing to tag people with announcements, but I think if you are interested in making sure that players follow the rules, you also have an interest in making sure that your communication of everything is very, very, very clear. Right, exactly, like Arbus. Like, we have a channel for each matchup, and we say, hey, these are the rules specifically for this matchup. Obviously, you don't have that for the ladder, so I don't know what actual structure they have for the players. But it's important to have a type of structure where you're communicating, and you're absolutely sure that the players see it. Tomato basil soup or not? Wait, what? I'll say yes to that. I mean, I'd never say no to soup. Yeah, so Ville's going down. And Mangonel comes forward. Mangonel goes down. Yeah, and players still ignore, right? Like, it's one thing if you're, like, repeatedly tagging players and saying, hey, don't stream, and they, or stream without a delay, and they ignore it. It's another thing if it's just in the handbook and not really pointed out elsewhere. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if people, like, tagged Yo and gave him a warning, like, hey, don't stream, and he stopped, or with the delay and he changed it. I don't know exactly what happened. But I think that as a tournament host, you also want to make sure that your players are not going to do things that they are disqualified. And if the first step is minus 100, then you probably had some mistakes somewhere. So, 3 relics for Nahue is great for him, but they're also in this forward monastery. So maybe the Mangonel comes forward. Crossbows pick off some more vills. And it's a lot of knights. I wonder if that Mangonel's maybe a bit too far forward and maybe vulnerable to Dennis. But I think that Nahue has this. Behind all that pressure he had, he's gotten up to 98 vills to 59. And yeah, there are 6 fishing ships, so that's a 40 villager lead. And has wheelbarrow now, so he's ready to win this game. He's up by 1k score, he's got a defensive castle, and he just needs to run in and apply the finishing blow. So that knight's coming forward, hitting the watchtower. And going for the house. And chain guarding armor and light cav on the way. Time to make more horses. Time to make more knights for the Lithuanians. I mean, 3 relics for the Lithuanians is Lithuanians too. So that will be very scary for the knights. And imp on the way for Dennis. For the Lithuanians, I love making a late Castle Age push with knights. Especially if you can get forging and iron casting for them. Yeah, Discord is the way. People usually communicate. Yeah, too indecisive. He should have won a long time ago. I think he's still in a great spot. I don't think 69 vills is nice enough to overcome 118 in this position. But sometimes you want to take it easy and not end things, right? You don't have to end things within 75 minutes. So Mangonel's coming over. We have a castle coming forward for Nawe. Okay, Nawe. The only way you lose is with a doubt castle. All the vills coming forward, but I think this is safe. Unless the Mangonel one-shots the castle foundation. The Mangonel could one-shot the castle. Okay, he has enough HP. He's good, he's good. He's good. That goes up. This will be the killing blow. For you waiting for the killing blow, this will be it. So a castle here from Nawe going up. Mangonels come forward. And villagers' crossbows getting hit. We have Imp on the way for Dennis. And Mangonel his own knights. That's okay. That's okay. And Dennis, I assume that means his advance to the Imperial Age. And a Bracer chemistry on the way for him. Town center going down. And I'll have a town center going to the other side too for Dennis. And oh, the gate is open, and the knights are slaying the villagers. They are also holding it open. There's a GG from Dennis, and Nawe ties it up 1-1. So we have a tie set again. All right, lovely. That's 112 to 68 as the KD for Nawe. And Eco, we have 8,000 more res collected. Faster castle time. And Society, we have more vills there for Nawe. So a wonderful game, and even after losing the water, applied enough feudal pressure, got a big enough lead, and maintained the lead until the end. Continued the follow-up with Castle Age pressure, where he was able to boom behind it. Went to 1, 2, 3, 4 TCs. Great to have the extra food per TC as the Lithuanians grab the relics. And Lithuanian knights are scary, even had iron casting on the way. Ooh, calculator. If you want a calculator. You want a calculator like that. Yeah, we have a calculator right there. I have one on my website. I don't know if everyone knows about that, though. I just threw that in my chat because people were asking. But there is strictly a formula for ELO, and you can evaluate it to figure out what the ELO changes for different situations. So that does bring us to game number 3, which will be on Valley. Now, I am hyped for Valley because I basically remade this map from scratch for the tournament. And it'll be similar to the one that's in the base game, but I think we made some good changes to it. The announcement was made 49 hours before the end of the cutoff. I think it was in the handbook before that, but also could be certainly clearer. Gotta go. Thanks for casting. Well, thanks for watching our race. I'll probably cast this. I might not fill the entire time slot until 8 p.m. I might take a break from streaming and eat some food, but then later on, who knows? Maybe I do. Maybe we'll find something. Well, we'll cast Survivalist in just over 4 hours, or just under 4 hours. We'll be sleeping at that point. Arbrace, you'll be sleeping instead of adminning. What is this? We have Petito or JBR around to admin. Anyway, we will have Dennis luring in a boar, luring that back to the TC. And then we gotta wake up tomorrow morning to cast Gabby's set. And wonderful lure on the boar, but Nawe, even more, will be stealing the boar from across the map. There he goes, bringing it back across the middle. So this is Valley. If you remember, the map had a ton of fish and a ton of deer in the middle. We removed the deer, for the most part, and replaced them with chickens and hares. So it's not a map where you can push everything back to the TC, it's a map where you have to go to the middle. And Sicilians plus Vietnamese, two different approaches to the map here, potential middle donjons from the Sicilians, and Vietnamese looking like an archer skirm heavy civ with a pretty good eco behind it. We also opened the map up a bit, it's a bit harder to wall. And we should have balanced wood and other resources on both sides. The map also actually is a valley. The middle of the map is downhill. It actually is a valley. So a bit more risky for archers camping the sides of the hill if you have vills in the middle. It's the ones you have to calculate for all the top players. If you have an idea for some type of ELO calculator, I'm sure that there's space to implement one. That could be fun. Can I make the wolves eat the chickens? I don't think I can. In AoE 1, though, the lions did eat the gazelles. And that was something, this is something I know Sandy said repeatedly, that they removed that in AoE 2 because people complained about it. So I tried to add a bunch of different types of trees to the map. So we have these Asian maple trees here. I tried to use them along with the flower grass and the brighter grass 2 terrain to make the map a bit brighter. We have some of the fun white vegetation beach in the middle. I also didn't use, oh wait, no, maybe I did use all 3 colors of hairs. I was going to say, there is a lighter colored hair. I thought maybe you can't see it here. Thank you, Saga90 for the follow. And also, earlier, Andrew, I don't know if I read your name, thank you for the follow. And also, Fredricon, thank you also for the follow. Have I used willows? Did I use willows? Is there a map? I thought I used willows. Oh, you know, I did use willows on this. It's on a different version of the map, though, if you get a different terrain. Yeah, there's a different version with bamboo and jungle trees, and I think I have willows there. Now, don't be telling me I didn't use willows when I did Hold Man Willow. I mean, the calculator is very simple, and if you read that page, it explains the formula. There is an API for accessing player ELOs if you want to build a tool. The calculator is a very simple formula that I don't think that you want an API. You'd probably just implement that yourself for whatever tool you have for reading ELO from the... There's the Libra Match API you'd look into, which reads from the Relic API. Yep, definitely less wood. Definitely less wood here. We tried to open it up a bit. There are 4 different themes for the map that get used randomly. The willow theme is one of them. Also, you have to be careful because you can't mill directly on the beach terrain. You have to mill on either side. And there should be a good spread of hares and chickens throughout the middle on both sides. Also, singleton deer spread throughout, which you can try to push to your TC. But I really do like the laming approach, and I like the drush approach. Here we go, 4 militia drush from Nawe. This is what we wanted to see, some aggression to the middle on this map. He will destroy the mill, Vil fight and militia, and well, that's even 5 militia in the Dark Age. How's he gonna follow this up? Is this a drush FC? That's a lot of food spent on militia. And he's gonna be against the Sicilian player who can add archers in the next stage. This valley is a few months into the drought of that river. DE Valley is shortly after the river dried up. Well, this one actually is a valley. I mean, DE isn't really a valley. There's no hill on it. We actually made a valley for the river. So they still got wood. So it will be that Dark Age donjon for Dennis. Remember, this building now does unlock the stable and the archery range. And militia come forward to attack the villagers. Preposterous, a valley that is a valley. And a Vil does go down. So, feudal age on the way for Dennis as... Oh, capture age freezes for a second. I was afraid that would drop the stream, but we're okay, we're okay. Militia come forward. Now, they do have the same amount of wood. Yes, the southern side... I can't control directly how the river turns, but I think that you should have roughly the same amount of land on both sides. The north is just a bit chunkier, and the south thinner and longer. So they're different, slightly different randomizations to the land proportions. So Sergeant here fighting Vils as a scout comes over, and that scout will fight some Vils. And that Vil will poke the scout. Design philosophy of the TTL maps. What do you want to know? Remember, this is T90's tournament, right? So these are his maps, and I just edited them. So it's not necessarily the same type of map pool I'd do for my tournament. I know that we have very different tastes in maps. He likes hybrid maps quite a bit. I like fun maps. So we'll have the sergeants coming over to hit the gold. Tend to lean more towards the close side? I don't think so. I think we have a lot of open maps like Monocle or High Tides or even this one here that we opened up a bit. We have 15 total maps in the map pool. There are some that are very distinctly closed maps. And Vil goes down there for Nawe. And now we're getting to the point where he is stuck in the Dark Age for a long time. That was a very aggressive drush he did in the opening, but spent a ton of food on the militia, and now he's not going to wall the sergeants in time. That Vil goes down, and the sergeants have to chase this Vil around on the other side. That Vil, 16 HP. And we'll run back to the TC. Yeah, we do have 4 closed maps, but remember, there are 15 total maps in the pool, so 4 out of 11 being closed is not really a big number, I think. In the past, we've had usually 2 or 3 closed maps for 11. For a pool of 11 maps. And in the past, there was Zong and Fortified Clearing. We had Arena in earlier seasons. We had Regicide Fortress at one point. So there have always been closed maps. Here, just with the total map pool being larger, there are more closed ones. So then there's also some different setups, like Stranded or Quarry, which is kind of a weird open-closed hybrid. There's Northern Crossings and Seychelles, which are more water maps. And thank you, Woody Jason, for the follow. And now Nawe is up and trying to repair his house. Yep, there are 15 total for this one. In the past, it was 11, though. So more maps than we've had in the past. And double ranges for Nawe going up. So, Men-at-Arms on the way for Nawe. So if an archer comes forward and hits Vils, Vils will be hit by the archer. And deleting the wall and running. The sergeant's not there to hit the Vils as they run. Not quite paying attention there is Dennis. Dennis at the same time maybe thinking of quick walling his own gold as a man-at-arms comes in. So that's actually pretty nice for Nawe, hitting the gold at the same time as he decided to run his Vils. And those sergeants did not chase the Vils. He gets back to the TC. Oh, nicely done from Nawe. This is where at the Platinum League, maybe you have a player like Leary who'll notice that, and he'll micro at the right time on both locations. Here that man-at-arms does go down, but that forward man-at-arms may have just saved all the Vils on those berries. Turns out only 11 maps was a laughable number. Yes. There's a piece. Is there a piece of pizza type map? Is there? How do players feel about Stranded? That's in the map pool. That's the only real nomad map we have. I guess the thing is that will to be determined. So archers shoot down the skirms, chase the Vils, and kill the Vil. No, we were doing the good version of Stranded without the junk, and without the silly islands on the outside. Just normal Stranded with the fishing ship. T90's not going to cast and talk about the players' junks. Oh, no. So padded archer on the way for Nawe.
Si. Comandi.
And archers killing the rest of the group. Is Vlessa? I mean, he hasn't been playing as much as he has in the past. I don't know of him leaving. I haven't heard anything there.
Si.
I know a lot of the players on the old Finland team are not as active as they used to be.
A vostro servizio.
Chaos Arena was fun. Well, it was made by Trezzini. Trezzini works for Forgotten Empires, but a lot of the maps that have been added were just some of his really old map scripts that he had made years ago.
A vostro servizio.
Yeah, Stranded was a map I played a long time ago in a tournament where I teamed with ACCM. And I brought it back for, was it TTL or Wandering Warriors Cup? One of those two. It was probably Wandering Warriors Cup 2. I thought it was a pretty good map, and it seemed quite popular. But it was originally made a long time ago by Trezzini. And all the Red Bull maps that are in the game were made by him. But he is, I guess, officially working for Forgotten Empires in some capacity. Yeah, it's the same guy. Or that's a different Stranded. That's a different Stranded. I think that's a different Stranded map. I don't think that's the one made by Trezzini. Sometimes maps have the same name, too. Like, I know I named a map Sumatra, only to find out there was another map with the same name. So we'll have a 30-second difference to Castle Age here. Nawe buying wood. Dennis will try to wall this out, but Nawe certainly did take some return damage for that early drush he did. But now actually has a Vil lead, and what will happen to his army as it is walled in? Great play from Dennis, and the army has nowhere to go, and will be chased and killed by all of those skirmishers. Army going down, and another house goes up as the archers keep running around. House goes down, and the skirms are chased away. So Castle Age on the way for both. Bloodlines and Scale Barding Armor on the way for Nawe. So sergeants go down. And skirms to the villager. No, that's Philadelphia. He's a different guy. Skirms chase away the other skirm. The villain on the outside runs around the stone. And at the front, knight and crossbow. So a couple knights from Nawe. So opening knights is the Vietnamese. Maybe sad he's not opening elephants. Well, they do have decently upgraded knights now. When they first came out, they lacked husbandry, but they were given husbandry now. And it will be against Sicilian cav archers. Every civ goes cav archers. It's 2026 and players still go cav archers. Knight kills a villager. And the knights, if you have enough of them, could think about sniping off a donjon. But some crossbows will come out. Oh, 2 scorpions and forward vills. What is this? We're going to have a Vietnamese castle. I don't think Dennis buys a counter castle, even as the Sicilians. Can the castle go right here between 2 TCs? Oh, that would be crazy. There go the vills. That's where he's going. That's where Nawe is going. All right, he's got a 12 vil lead. It's risky to be this aggressive. Dennis doesn't have any stone for counter donjons even. Here come the knights. One monk out. One monk can make all the difference in the world. There is the castle foundation. Okay, that is aggressive. That's on the starting TC. But the vills, are they in the right position with the knights? One knight converted. Some vills going down to the skirms. Well, he does have a village. He has some to lose. There he goes, starting construction. If the scorpions come over, here come the scorpions going for the skirms. And wait a minute, wait a minute. All the skirms are dying. The cav archers fall back. That castle's going up. That's going up for Nawe, and he can add in now Rattan archers as the Vietnamese to try to counter the cav archers. Alright, we might see a workshop behind this for some siege. He's on 1 TC. We have 2 for Dennis. And Dennis may be booming. Let's see, will this go up though? Wait, there's a converted knight still. There are 4 vills here. 4 vills, more knights and more cav archers. Does this go up 84%? And actually, wait a minute, wait a minute. I think Nawe may have even taken a better KD in that fight, but he lost all the vills at 88%. He has to send another round. He's got 5 more vills on the way. 5 more vills on the way. And the match command won't work because these are Rex, but they are 2k5 against 2k3. The Elos are up there. And oh my gosh, do the cav archers pick off more vills? Do these vills die too? Remember when he had a 12 vill lead? No way. Oh no, 89%. 5 more vills got 1 more percent. Oh, that vill, 18 HP. And does this finally go up 93%, 94? And that cav archer in the back, not gonna try to stop it. And it does go up in the end. But he sacrificed his vill. It looked like Dennis lost 5 vills too. Oh, because at the same time the knights are raiding. Knights got around on the gold mine. Oh, the knights got around. It didn't get that last sword hit on the vill. Oh, nice idea to move around while Dennis was focused fully on the castle. But it does go up, and now is Dennis dead now? These vills are running in the back? They're gonna do another TC? Well, that's why Valley's an open map now, so the knights can run around and do stuff like that. He wasn't fully walled. Or maybe a house went down, maybe deleted it at some point. Oh, that was brilliant. What if the castle was only to bait Dennis's army into a bad fight? That's next level strats. Forward vills on the castle while you sneak a couple of knights around? I like that idea. 4 vills, what a slaughter. Oh, and hello Eric. Welcome to the YouTube chat. So Scorpion here, going for the cav archers, some sergeants running around. And sergeant's hitting a knight. And a little late loomer. Ah, dude, that does hurt. You feel like, oh boy, I've denied the castle, only nope, no you didn't. And there is the workshop follow-up. We'll see, probably mangonels are the safe choice here. Rams are the super aggressive choice, but probably see mangonels. And this gold won't last too much longer. You do usually have a super far gold, or you should always have a super far gold, unless my map is bugged on this map. Is this a dockable valley? No, it is not a dockable valley. We explicitly disallowed docking on the map. One, because if we were going to put shorefish in the ponds, it would be somewhat unfair. Sometimes they did have a shorefish, sometimes not. Sometimes the ponds were smaller or larger, and you weren't always able to fit a dock. So we decided rather than having full-on dockable valley, we've seen the map played in the past DE's version, and I've never seen a dock on it. So just to be safe that we didn't have a very different map than we were expecting, I disabled the docking in the rare instance that someone might have done it. So it wasn't intended really to be a water map, and we had enough Fire Galley nightmares from previous maps, we figured we might as well enforce that. And enforce it not through a rule or anything, just by having the map script disable the docking. Oh no. No way, mangonelled your own knights. Your attack grounding your own knight corpses. No, don't rub it in. Doubts played Fire Galleys on the latter version? Really? I've never seen that, but I don't doubt that it's possible. My feeling was simply that it was too unfair for pond distribution and fish distribution to allow it. I did spread the ponds out more than normal. There's a good bit of spacing between the ponds. But I think you don't always get the same number of ponds either. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ponds that are fairly spaced. I forget how many you can have at max. Oh no, Dennis running to a wood line, but finding a knight. Great map awareness from Norway to run the knight around the back like that. PC hitting some knights. Knights go down. Especially in team games, you can play Navy in an odd way. You've seen full cannon galleon. Not on the pro level. Okay, full cannon galleon. Yeah, I've had a lot of tournament games of Valley that I've casted, but I've never seen it be dockable. Although these days, I fully expect that someone would try to dock it. 100% we'd see a fishbone. Okay, so some Cav Archers from Dennis getting to the back of Nawe's base. And Nawe on 2 TCs to Dennis's now 2. The Vil counts are equal. Res collected are in Nawe's favor. He is heavily on gold. Might need to take a trip to the market to balance out the eco. Sicilians, do they have redemption? They don't have redemption. So they won't have good monks at stopping the Mangonel push. Mangonel on the hill getting shot and rocked. And the knights will come forward and hit the Mangonel. And knights kill villagers. Down they go. And GC will kill some knights here. Another house coming up for Nawe. And Mangonel on the hill attacking the TC. So more pressure. And this Mangonel attacking a house here? Yeah, okay, that Mangonel he lost track of. But now some Rattan archers will harass the Vils by that gold. And at least Dennis has more gold options to the back. So great score lead for Nawe. Well, looking at the Vil count, only up by 5. Maybe Dennis still has a shot here, but it is certainly an uphill battle for him. And doesn't look like he's repairing the TC. Hate to be a villain in these two economies. Yeah, 33 to 30 eco KD. As the Cav Archer raids have managed to kill some Vils too. Though those early raids, Feudal versus Dark Age, were effective too. This game has been crazy. So Scorpions here in the middle where the TC was. Some Vils here from Dennis will run up. Monastery there by the TC. Another knight coming forward. So Mangonel going for the TC. Some defensive castle? I mean, is there a place even for a defensive castle? This is an extra tiny wood line for Dennis on the outside. So I did add some tiny wood lines. These were mostly for decoration. Each player has 4 very tiny wood lines on their side of the map. But looks like Dennis found one and TC'd it because it was the only spot he could TC. Oh, thank you very much for the sub. Hello there. Thank you.
Defeat my champion in combat, Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, and I will give you command of my army. Let the tournament begin!
And there's the GG. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate the support. We're getting closer and closer to that chicken costume goal. We're within 20 subs, and I expect we'll do that. Well, I'll leave that running at least until the show match for finishing the ladder. Maybe over the weekend, too, for the last chance qualifier. So, congrats there to Nawe, winning 2-1. Dang, that was nice. I'm just about hitting 8 hours of streaming today. Let the match end. And Dennis will go down, again, the 2K5 player losing to the 2K3 player. So, let me just go back out to the scoreboard. Like I said, I still need to make a TTL scoreboard. Doing so much Red Bull, I haven't had time for that. Gotta love everything as long as it isn't a Korean mirror. Y'all are fatigued of the Korean mirrors, I can tell that. Alright, so what do we want to do now? I need to fill some time until we get to the survivalist set. And I might just stop streaming and take a break, but then we also have like 500 plus viewers. So maybe I should just keep streaming. So would you all be down to maybe take a pacifist video for a break? And then I will maybe come back. Why is Sato streaming more Korean? Or and then maybe cast some ladder games? Or maybe I do end the stream and take a break and come back. To make the overlay, did you draw on a layer over a screenshot of Capture Age? Yes, I did. Yes, I did, Tetracycline. Exactly. And then I just put the screenshot there so it's on top in OBS. And the only awkward thing is the mouse cursor goes beneath it. I had a way of putting my mouse cursor on top of it, but of all things, it ended up messing up my microphone audio. So explain that. I don't know how, but yes, it messed up the microphone audio. Okay. So I think, I think I probably do actually want to take a break. I'm not going to stream for, that'd be 11 hours of streaming total before we get to the set. And I don't think I'll be very good at casting the set if I cast ranked games until then. So I think I'll end the stream and I'll raid someone. I'll come back later and I'll cast that. We might not have 600 viewers for it, but hopefully you'll come back, right? You'll come back for a survivalist. So yeah, I'll end the stream now. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in just about 3 hours for survivalist set. Let me double check what we have going on here. Yeah, the thing is, the mouse overlay, it worked in Windows 10 and it stopped working on Windows 11. So the schedule is technically 1 GMT tomorrow, but if you are East Coast US like I am, it is 8 p.m. tonight. Ozone versus Survivalist, so I'll be back for that. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you later on YouTube, and we'll raid someone on Twitch. So goodbye.